start streaming. Okay, YouTube is live. Getting the message out on Discord. Turn off live preview. And we'll get the TikTok live as well. Not 22, 25, please. There we go. Pop the chat out. Get it up there where we normally have it. And we're live. Hi Dagger, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. You are the first one. I'm good, thanks you. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Bit tired out after yesterday, but I'll tell you more about that later. Can we play multiplayer? Sorry Nathan, I'm going to be on single player again today. I'm going to be carrying on Moss Valley. So, new feature, you can now see above my head the name of the map, because pretty much the only question everyone asks me is, what's the name of the map? There it is! You can see the name of the map above my head now. It's Moss Valley. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So once a couple more people have arrived, we will dive on in. How's your day been? Pretty good, Nathan. 2455, how you been doing? When's the multiplayer map, says Nathan? I'm not sure, Nathan. When FS25 first came out, we did have a multiplayer map, but it didn't last for very long. Because no one was ever on it unless I was streaming, so it didn't really feel worth paying for. I would be open to playing on someone else's multiplayer server, maybe, but I don't really think I'm going to host my own multiplayer server for a while. Because, again, it's just not really worth the price when no one's on it unless I'm on it when I'm streaming. And in any case, I'm happy enough in single player for now. I'm not picking my nose. I'm itching. There we go. Okay. It's late over here in far north Queensland, Australia, 12:04 AM Saturday morning. Well, hello over in Australia, Nathan. Okay, let's get started then. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Farm Sim Friday. We are going to be continuing with Moss Valley today. I'm going to dive right in and get the game loaded up. I'll start with a quick tour and show you what I've done off camera, which is not much, but I've made a couple of changes, which I think you'll appreciate. And then we'll dive into what we're actually doing today, which you can probably tell by the title of the stream. We're going to be doing a lot of field work today. We got a few fields that need some attention, so we're going to focus on that today. But like I say, first of all, we'll take a look at what we did last time and what I've done off camera. Hi, Jaden Rogers, how you doing? Also, I just want to mention the camera might be a little bit dark today because my light, my big light that I normally have above my head, is on charge. I forgot to charge it before the stream, so it's charging right now. It might be charged enough to have it on later, but I couldn't have it on at the start of the stream because the battery was completely dead. So that's why the camera's a bit darker than usual today. I apologise. I'm good. What about you? I'm very good, Jaden. Thanks very much. Good. I've had a good day. Had a pretty good week, all in all. I went to the Peak District yesterday. Had a great time. I'll tell you more about that later, but there will be a video coming as well in the next couple of weeks. Very, very good day out. Moss Valley is the best map, says Connor. It is an amazing map, Connor. It is a really great map. Loving it so far. But have you heard the news, everybody? Giant Software have officially announced that we are going to be getting a UK DLC map. We're going to be getting a Scottish map as an official DLC. It is the first time we've had a UK map in Farming Sim that wasn't a mod, which is really exciting. That's going to be coming out in November, I think, or it might have been October, but it's going to be later this year. But I'm super excited. We're finally getting a UK map in Farming Sim as a proper official DLC. Really exciting. We'll definitely be checking it out when the time comes. Hey Saul, hey, how you doing, Azure? Welcome to the stream. Doing my GCs soon, says Jaden. GCS? What's GCS? Or did you mean GCSE, Jaden? Either way, good luck. Big up Scotland, says Azure. Yes, love Scotland. I'd like to say, a UK map is something that has been requested since the very early days of Farming Sim. It's no coincidence that there's a lot of mod maps that are based on the UK, like this one, for example. People have been asking Giant Software for years, please do a UK map. And they're doing it. Not only are they doing a Scottish map, but they're also bringing fishing to the game. Like industrial scale fish farming, which is pretty cool. Never seen that in Farming Sim before either, so I'll be looking forward to checking that out in a few months' time. Hi Max, how you doing? Is there a Clarkson's Farm coming, do you know, says Jacko Dando. They just had the Series 4, didn't they? I know he is filming a Series 5, but the 4th series just came out, as far as I know. Because I just watched it a few weeks ago, and I think it was, like, freshly released. Good, what about you, says Max? I'm pretty good, Max, thanks. Okay, and we are in. So, first things first, I do want to quickly show you what I've done over at the sheep farm. Thanks for following, Max. Because you may recall in the last stream, we had a bit of trouble with the sheep farm. I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to feed bales to the sheep. And it turns out I wasn't going crazy. The sheep barn that we were using is bugged. So I'll go over and show you what we've got instead. We've placed down the Horman sheep barn, the branded one. But what I discovered, I did a bit of digging around online, and it turns out that the unbranded sheep barn, this one here that we used before, this is bugged. This is the only sheep pasture that you can't put bales in. So it's obviously a bug. All of these other three, even the smallest one, you can put bales in it. It's only this one that you have to put loose hay in it. It won't take bales. So yeah, I wasn't going crazy. It's bugged. It is bugged, and I wasted all my time trying to figure out where to put the bales in for no reason. But we've placed down the Horman one instead. It's roughly the same size, but a bit fancier looking. And as you can see, the sheep now have hay. Hold on. There we go. The sheep now have grass, so we have successfully fed the sheep. I've also stacked the bales up a little bit neater, so we got these here for future use. I've done a bit of a better job on the terraforming as well. It looks a little bit smoother over here now. And I've made a little bit more space here for the animal trailers, because the animal dialogue option is here on this side. So my thinking is, when we take the animals to be sold, or when we buy new ones, we can bring a truck in here, and then we can easily reverse it up to the barn like that. So hopefully we should have enough space now. And look at that pasture. And there they are eating. Beautiful. Is this your farm, says Azure? Yes. Well, this is my sheep farm. My main farm is back over here. And we've got our 3 tractors. I didn't even notice before that we've now got a red, green, and blue tractor. We need to just get a yellow one now. Maybe a Caterpillar or a Challenger. Oh, also, I just want to quickly mention the class here, which was released a couple of weeks ago. They have now released a cat branded version. But it doesn't really matter because we got the class version anyway, so it won't affect us. But there is now a cat branded version if you're playing on PC. Obviously not in the crossplay version because they don't have the license for Caterpillar. But anyway, let's talk about what we're actually doing today, because we do have quite a bit to be getting on with. If I just bring up the checklist here. So we got 3 jobs on the checklist. The first of which is to sell the wheat that we were supposed to sell last week, but we forgot to sell. There is a mini peak in April, so this is the best time of year to sell it, unless we wait all the way until December again. So we're going to sell it today. That's going to be the first thing we do. Best price is the Carter Hall grain elevator, but it is currently falling, so we will want to get that sold straight off. So let's do that now, shall we? Oh, need my keys. Thanks for following your boy Raheel. Can I play, says Peter? Unfortunately, this is single player only, Peter. No way you actually use keys, that's cool, says Joe. Yes, the keys are from the collector's edition of Farming Sim 25, the game that I'm playing right now. The collector's edition is £60, but you do get the ignition lock with the key here. You also get some of these posters. You can see the corner of one of the posters there. Obviously, you get the game itself and the soundtrack and a couple of other bits and pieces. But the big selling point is definitely the ignition lock. It really does just give a little bit more realism, you know. It's really, really fun, really enhances the game. And I use it with Euro Truck as well, it works with that. Hi Oliver, how are you doing? Okay, so we are going to sell the wheat, and then we're going to get on with the field work. I'm going to turn the clock up a bit as well. It's only on 0.5 at the minute. We'll get on 5. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can reverse without going to the external view today. Oh, nope. We've already crashed. Oh, there is a silo directly behind us. Okay. It's easier on Euro Truck because when you turn the camera, you actually lean out of the cab window. But obviously in this, when you turn around, you just see directly behind the tractor, which isn't very useful. There we go. Ooh. I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong place anyway. That's where we unload. I made that mistake last week as well. That's the unload point. We want the load point, which is on this side. Okay, so we didn't need to reverse at all, as it turns out. There we go. Okay, wheat, in you go. Do you have pedals too? Accelerate, brake, and clutch. I have accelerator and brake, Azure. I don't have a clutch pedal. I would like to get one. The Logitech steering wheel that I've got here doesn't come. It only comes with 2 pedals. Excuse me a minute. I just need to mute someone. There we go. There's one thing I really can't stand. It's spam. Yeah, so the steering wheel only comes with 2 pedals, but I would like to get a 3-pedal setup at some point. So watch this space, you know. So the gear stick just changes gears without it. Yes, so the gear shifter doesn't actually work on this game. You can make it work with mods, but I just use the automatic gear shift for this one. But on Euro Truck Simulator, you can use automatic clutch. So you don't have to have a clutch pedal, you can just change gears straight off. Like I say, I would like to get an actual clutch pedal for more realism, but at the minute, I don't have that. On the plus side, it does mean that it's impossible to stall the truck on Euro Truck. And I'm sure that once I do get a clutch pedal, we'll probably be stalling quite a lot. Do you play car games like Forza and that stuff, says Morgan Hicks? Not really. I've never been massively into racing games, with a few exceptions. I do have some very fond memories of Burnout Paradise from back in the day. And I have actually played Burnout Paradise with this steering wheel, which was certainly an interesting experience. But I want to get a wheel that's a bit more suited to racing, because this wheel is not really designed for racing. It's designed for like heavy duty stuff, like trucks and tractors. But if I had a slightly more suitable wheel for racing, I'd definitely consider doing it. Do you drive off gaming, says Chambers253? I don't, Chambers, no. I don't drive in real life, and I don't really plan to. How much is your wheel set up with the stick and everything? So the steering wheel, side panel, and pedals were £230 for the whole bundle. The gear shifter here was £70, and the handbrake was £35. So about 300 and a bit for the lot. What's your dream car, says Chambers? I'm not really a big car person, Chambers, but I do love Aston Martins. I would say probably the DB9. Aston Martin DB9, I think, is probably, in my opinion, one of the best looking cars ever. And Astons in general, really good looking cars. Okay, hang on a minute. Where am I actually going here? Where is this grain merchant? Oh, it's way up at the very top of the map. Okay, I didn't realise how far it was. Okay, well, a long drive ahead. I think racing wheels are up there. Yeah, racing wheels definitely are more expensive than trucking wheels. That being said, though, you can get some fairly expensive stuff with trucking as well. I think Hori have just released their trucking wheel, which is 600 quid. Obviously, I use this for trucking. But yeah, this is a low-end wheel, so this is on the cheap side of steering wheels, and I am looking to get something a bit more expensive. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you want to get your first wheel, and you don't want to, you don't really have a massive budget, this is a great place to start. It is cheap, but it does what it does what it says on the tin. Really, it's cheap, but it's durable. I mean, I've had it for over 3 years and it still works pretty damn well. A little bit of drift. From just wear and tear, but yeah, £230 for an investment that's lasted 3 years, and the side panel is included in that £230. Well worth it. Can't complain at the prices, they're all brilliant and realistic. Exactly, Azure, that's the thing. Even the cheapest wheel is still more realistic than playing with a controller, for example. So even if it is something as cheap as this, it still gives you that level of realism that you just don't get with a controller or with a keyboard and mouse. If I was to play these Sims, I would want a wheel, says Azure. Yeah, honestly, it's a completely different experience. When I first played Euro Truck Simulator, it was on a laptop, a little 80. Well, I say little. It was, you know, one of the biggest laptops screen-wise. I had an 18-inch Lenovo IdeaPad. So I was sat there playing with keyboard and trackpad on a tiny little laptop. That was my first experience of Euro Truck Simulator. And comparing that to now, playing it on this huge screen with a gear shifter and a steering wheel and a handbrake, it's night and day. You know, it completely transforms the experience. It turns it from a game into a simulator, you know what I mean? And obviously I have some fond memories of playing on the old laptop back in the day, but it is so different playing with all the simulation gear. I'd love to play Bus Simulator with it. I've played that with the controller. Oh yeah, we did play OMSI with the wheel a couple of times last year. Really good. I told you about the bushes. You did indeed, Patrick. Yes. Fortunately, they don't have any collision on them. But yeah, lots of bushes directly over the path there. Is it free, says Ron? No, the game is... Well, actually, I don't know how much the game costs on Steam. I would hazard a guess that it's about £30. Obviously, I got the collector's edition, which was £60. But the game itself, I think, is 30 quid. Maybe 40? I don't know. Actually, the Steam summer sale's on, so it might even be a bit cheaper right now, if you want to check it out. Okay, here we go. I always wondered what it's like to be a bus driver, says Azure. Yeah, I've got to be honest, I don't really envy them. Big respect to bus drivers. I've seen some of the shit they have to deal with, you know. I mean, just like any customer-facing job. There's always going to be pricks, for want of a better word. Me and my mates had to sell carrots up there. It was field 55. I ran a double semi-trailer, says Patrick. Damn, Patrick. Wow. I love Steam Summer Sale, says Azure. Me too. I haven't even checked out what games are available yet. But there's a few on my wish list at the minute, so I'll definitely be checking out the summer sale over the weekend and seeing if there's any interesting stuff I can get my hands on. Okay, is there a shorter way to get back to the farm? I think this field here is a dead end. It looks like a dead end. There could be a path there. I can't quite tell if that's a road or not. I can't quite tell if there's a track there. I'll tell you what, we'll go to this corner and see if we can get down there. If not, we'll just have to go all the way around. What console do you have? Says Morgan. I'm on PC, Morgan. I've got a custom PC from Bedrock Computers. Cost me £1,000. 8GB graphics card, 32 gigs RAM, 5 terabytes of storage, Intel i5 processor. Pretty good. A little bit on the pricey side, but you know, it's always more expensive buying a pre-built PC rather than putting it together yourself, which I'm definitely not ready to do yet. There's no more roads. Thanks for the heads up, Patrick. So we will have to go all the way around then. But that's the first job done. We have sold the wheat. I didn't pay attention to how much money we made from it. I'll have a look at the finance sheet when we get back to the farm. But pretty much the rest of the stream, we are going to be doing field work. So we currently own 3 arable fields, 31, 32, and 35. 31, sorry, already has barley growing in it, but we do need to fertilise. 32 has oats growing in it, but that doesn't really need any work just yet because we only planted them in the last stream. But field 35 is the biggest one. Field 35 needs a lot of work done because the last job we did in there was harvesting. And we really need to prepare it for the next planting, which is going to have to be ideally tomorrow or potentially June, but realistically it's going to have to be May. So we got to turn it over, possibly pick stones as well, then get it planted. We may even have to spread lime, I'm not sure yet. Either way, lots of work to do in field 35 in particular. Is there not a 26, says Alfie? There isn't, Alfie, no. So Farming Sim don't release a game every year. They originally released a game every 2 years, and then they've stepped it up to 3. So 19, 22, 25. The next one will probably be 28. It just gives them more time to work on the game rather than releasing something every single year. They do mobile ports, which normally come out in between, though. So, for example, they did Farming Sim 23, which was a mobile version of 22, and so they'll probably do a mobile version of this one, like this year or next. Ollie says, I'm back. You probably got asked this question before, but what map is that? Moss Valley. Says it there on the screen. It is Moss Valley. It's a cross-play map. It is on all consoles and PC. It's based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire. Great map. Really enjoying it so far. Thanks for the roses, the boxing gloves, and the Hartley CA. Much appreciated. My bad, didn't see it. No worries, Alfie. No, Ollie, sorry. No worries. I just figured it was best to have it on the screen because I normally get asked this question like 50 times in every stream. I like your live. Thanks, Ron. Thank you very much. Okay, and we are back at the farm. So let's get the trailer away. Cross the wheat off our checklist, see how much money we made off it, and then see what we can do next. Ooh, whoops, came in a bit faster. What's pronoun? She, her. Thanks for asking, Bennett. I'm on farming. Nice one, Jackson. Are you on 25, 22, 19? Thanks for following, Dr. Robert John. 25. Nice one, Jackson. Nice one. Just a question, what does AMA mean? AMA is short for Ask Me Anything. Oh, this is a silage pit as well. I didn't realise this was a silage pit. What did you call me? Dr. Robert John. That's your username. What are you growing, Jackson? At the minute, we are growing oats and barley, and we do need to decide what we're going to be planting in field 35. Can you get 25 on PS4? I'm not sure, Rory. It is on PS5. I'm not 100% on PS4. Oh, it's DJ Robert. Oh, okay, sorry, DJ Robert John. I thought it said Dr. Robert John, but it says DJ. But thank you very much anyway. I would do grass to make silage, says Jackson. I hate doing silage. I've got to be honest, Jackson. Everyone's always like, do silage. It's the best way to make money, but it's so boring. I just really don't enjoy making silage in this game. I know it's the fastest way to make money, but I just don't like doing it. You seem like a very kind person. Thank you, Isaac M. What's your favourite video game? My favourite video game of all time is Oddworld Abe's Exodus, which is a PS1 game from 1998. First video game I ever played. I did play it on stream last year. Fantastic game. Absolutely love it. Hands down, my favourite game ever. Have you got any mods on, says Ollie. Yes, Ollie. In fact, we can have a look in the shop at the mods, because they'll all be here. We got quite a few mods. Most of these are official Giant software mods, but we've got a few third-party things as well. Mostly equipment. There is a few quality of life bits and pieces as well, but it is mostly just equipment. We got a couple of pieces of classic equipment, like the Fiat 1300, which is absolutely one of my favourite tractors of all time. I didn't even know this tractor existed before FS19, but I love it to pieces. It immediately became one of my favourite tractors. We will buy one of these, actually. In fact, I was going to say we could buy one right now, but it's a bit pricey for our current budget. But we will be getting one of these, because I fucking love this thing. It's so cheap for the power. Like, this is 150 horsepower. For only 60 grand. 60 grand for 150 horsepower. That is such a good price. This was one of the start-in tractors in FS19. And it's such a workhorse. It is an absolute workhorse. It's small, cheap, and powerful. Absolutely amazing. We will be buying one at some point. Okay, to the checklist, because we can now sell wheat off the checklist. Prepare 35 and spray 31. Okay. Have you got a Stream Deck, said Chelsea? I don't have a Stream Deck, Chelsea. I have considered getting one. I think it could be an interesting thing to use, but at the same time, I don't really see the need for one at the minute. Like, everything that I can do with a Stream Deck, I can do without one, you know? It would be pretty cool to have, but yeah, I don't really need one right now. Thanks for following George Gehring and Chelsea. Just use a cheat engine to hack the money. Nope, we will not be cheating in this playthrough, Chelsea. No cheating. We're going to try and do this all as legitimately as possible. I could loan a bit of money if necessary, but we're not going to be doing any cheating. Okay, so field 31. If we look at precision farming, we can see that the pH is not too bad, but the nitrogen is quite poor, and this is almost ready to be harvested. So this is our last chance to fertilize it, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to spray liquid fertilizer in field 31. Are there any weeds, by the way? If there's weeds, we might have a bit of trouble. It doesn't look like there is, though, so just... Actually, now that I think about it, this would be the perfect time to buy the Fiat 1300, because it is one of the only tractors in the world that actually looks good with narrow tires. Look at it. It just works. It looks better, in my opinion, with the narrow tires than it does with the wide tires. And I think that most tractors look absolutely stupid with narrow tires, but this one, it looks good. So we're going to buy this, and we're going to use this to spray field 31. That's the plan. Beacon light, yes, we will have it with a beacon light. Left or right, or both. What's the best option? Should the beacon light be towards the middle of the road or on the outside? I genuinely don't know. Left or right? What are we thinking? No window tinting. Front wheel fenders. I'm not sure about the wheel fenders. Left if right side road. Okay, so we are in the UK, so it should be on the right hand side, which is closer to the middle of the road, right? That's what I assumed that would be the case anyway. So the beacon light should be on the right. Okay. I'm not going to go with front wheel fenders. I think it looks better without them. Weights, we'll not go with any weights either. We don't want a front loader. We've got to keep that classic Fiat orange. I'm not changing the colours at all. And we'll keep the default license plate too. There we go. 59 grand. Let's take it. And then we also need to buy a sprayer. Right, so I'm going to go. Going to hop on Val. Have a good stream. Thank you, Azure. Hope you have a good day as well. Thank you for joining. Sam says, trans farmer? Yes, well, I'm not an actual farmer, but I am trans. Okay, I am going to look at sprayers now. Bye-bye, Azure. Sprayers, Hardy Mega, or the RAW one is quite cheap. Wait, no. 4 grand? 4 grand? No way. Look at, right, the Hardy Mega costs £30,000. This costs 4 grand. Okay, we're getting that. We're getting that. Wide Seeker, what does that do? Okay. The reason is durability, said Jackson. Ah, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. You'll be filling it up every 2 seconds. True. It does have additional tanks, though. So if we get the front tank is 1450 plus 200, so that's 1650 compared to... I mean, that's not far off the Hardy Mega. The Hardy can hold 2,700. This can hold 1,650. It's not a huge difference, really. I think that's a reasonable... Hold on. Hang on. No front linkage. The Fiat does not have a front linkage. I almost wasted my money. We are going to have to use the Hardy Mega. It doesn't have a front linkage. We can't have an additional tank on the front. Okay. We'll go for the Hardy Mega. Yes, it does. I can see it. Not a 3-point linkage, as you can see. It does need a 3-point linkage, which we don't have. So... Or does it? Let's have a look. Where is the attach point? Actually, where is the attachment point on this? I can't even tell. Oh, okay, never mind. We can't buy this anyway, because it's designed for a special tractor which doesn't have a bonnet. So, okay, that settles it then. We're buying the Hardy Mega. Right. Problem solved. We're going to buy the Hardy Mega. Why is it not going into gear right now? Hello? Okay, for some reason, I can't put the Fiat in gear. You can see me moving the gear stick there. It's stuck in neutral. What's going on there then? Oh, let me go to controls. Turn it off and on again, that does the trick. I'll try that, Alfie. Nope, still not working. It doesn't work if I switch tractors either. What if I get out and then get back in? Nope. Try it with another tractor. Let's try it. Yep, it works. You can't see it on the screen because it's too tiny, but it works with the class. I can shift gears with the class. It will not let me shift out of neutral with this tractor specifically, which is a bit of a problem. How do I shift with the keyboards? That's what I was trying to figure out. Let me go to controls. Vehicle. No. Gearbox. Shift gear up. Numpad. Okay, numpads. Let's try that. Okay. So I can shift up and down with the numpad, but not with the gear shifter on my side panel for some reason. Reese says, hope you don't mind me asking, but what gender are you? I'm a trans woman, Reese, so I was born and raised as a boy, but I came out about 4 years ago, and I've lived as a woman ever since. Oh, we need to actually put fertilizer in it, don't we? We'd better buy some then. Liquid fertilizer, 3,200. I think it will only hold 1 IBC worth at a time. Not even that, actually. Okay, we'll come back when we need more. And we're ready to go. Let's check out the beacon light on this thing. Ah, that's a nice simple spinning pattern. STFC says, is there a reason they make Farming Sim every 2 years and not every year? It's just so that they have more time to work on it, STFC. Which I prefer, honestly. I'd rather get a game every 2 years than get a game every single year. Because if you look at a game like FIFA, for example, it's just the same. It's exactly the same game every year. And I know people say that Farming Sim is the same, but I disagree. I think that Farming Sim does actually have enough improvements with each game. Whereas, like I say, with games like FIFA, it is literally the exact same thing. They just put different players in, you know. And people still buy it every single year. So I think buying a Farming Sim game every 3 years is not really that big of a deal in comparison. Okay. Open the gate. Oh, that's our oats, by the way. Looking pretty good. pH value is okay, so they could do with a bit more fertilizing. Oh no, that's lime, sorry. Okay, we can't do much about that. Nitrogen is okay. It's a little bit too much nitrogen, actually. That's probably because we fertilized it before we did the soil sampling. Whereas with the other field, we've already sampled the soil. We already know exactly how much fertilizer it needs, so we shouldn't have a problem. Do you need the setup to play? Sorry, stupid question. Nope, you can play with keyboard and mouse or with a controller. You don't need any of the simulation gear to play. Oh, we can turn this off while we're in the fields. Is it a good idea to be spraying in the rain, though? Because obviously in real life, it'll just immediately wash all the fertilizer off, but I don't think it actually affects the yield in-game. I think we might be safe to spray in the rain. Washes away, says Jackson. Okay, well, we can wait till it stops raining then. But this is the field that we're going to be spraying. That's our barley. If we just hop out and have a look. Why are you not playing Farm Sim 19? because it's 6 years old. This is the newest game. Nitrogen is bad. Okay, so we definitely need to fertilize in here. The pH is okay, though. It does need rolling. Obviously, we can't roll it while the crop's in here, so we'll have to do that afterwards. But looking pretty good. Old is better. Completely disagree. I'll never understand people who are like, oh, the Farming Sim 19 is better than the new one because X, Y, Z. I don't see how you could think that the older ones are better when it's, you know, it's always the same people who complain, like, it's just the same game but with new tractors. Well, if it's just the same game with new tractors, then how can the old one be a better game? Surely they're exactly the same, right? By your own logic. What map? The map is Moss Valley. Thanks for following, Bryce. Okay, let's check the weather forecast and see when it's going to stop raining. It's going to stop raining at 12 o'clock. We're currently at not even 9. I can fast forward a little bit. Oh, actually, though, no, I don't want to do that because if I can press the right button, we still have work to do in Field 35. So what we'll do is we'll go over to Field 35, we'll do what needs to be done there, and then we'll come back when it's stopped raining and spray in this field here. So I'll just pull over. Is it easy to make money on this farm? Oh, it depends what you do, James. We haven't made much so far, but we are still, you know, it is still early days yet. What wheel are you using? This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. Okay, we need to look at vehicles. There we go. Do we have a cultivator but not a seeder? We've got the direct drill seeder, but I want a cultivator. We do have the Lemken Smaragd 9500K. It's a bit small. It's only 5 meters wide, but it is 150 horsepower requirement. Couldn't we get something a bit stronger? Bear in mind we got a class that has 285 horsepower, so we could get a much bigger cultivator, really. Let's have a look. I'm looking in the wrong end of the shop, aren't I? It's up here. Cultivators. Okay. Or, oh, subsoiler would be better. Subsoilers are normally a bit bigger. And they count as ploughing. So if we use a subsoiler, it counts as a plough. But they are more powerful and they have a higher horsepower requirement. So maybe we will go cultivator. The horse finer, that's 6 meters. 7.5 meters for the Kuhn Prolander. Uh, 9 meters for the Einbock shallow cultivator. Okay, I think user 62128 whatever says, I just found your Instagram. If you look above me at the top of the screen, you'll notice that there is an icon there for Instagram, because my Instagram is linked in my bio. Congratulations, you found my public Instagram that is linked in the bio of this TikTok account. I literally tell people at the end of every stream to go and follow me on Instagram. Do you want a medal? Someone did this last week as well. Someone tried to dox me on stream, like, I found your Facebook. Like, what? Congratulations, it's public. You found my public Facebook profile. Well done. Okay, anyway, we're going to buy the Kuhn Prolander. Thanks for following, by the way, Archie14. Okay, this is the cultivate we're going to go for. 50k. Oh, we can't afford it. We might need to take out a little bit of a loan then. Oh, actually, though, first of all, we can sell the one that we've already got, because we're not going to need it. So we can sell the Lemken for 19 grand. Not bad. Not that it makes much of a difference, because I think the loan is in increments of 5k anyway. Finances up the top there. There we go. And borrow 5,000. Oh, it's borrowing 5,000. Okay, so we'll go up to... There we go. We'll borrow 40 grand, which will be enough to buy us the cultivator. There we go. Oh, let's go BKT tyres. No, actually, we'll stick with Trollborg. Okay, and we're going to need to take the Clads because it's the only tractor powerful enough to use it. What's the blue on the right? Don't think I've seen it. Oh, that's Blue Sky. Basically a Twitter clone, but with less bots and Nazis. Go check it out if you're interested. I don't really post that much on Blue Sky or Instagram, to be honest, but they are both there if you want to check them out. What gender, says Toby? I'm a trans woman, Toby. Been out for 4 years. What's with the beacon on the desk? This is from the collector's edition of Farming Sim 22, which I picked up for £5 on Facebook Marketplace. It does respond to the in-game beacon, as you can see. That's flashing right now. And it does actually match the flash pattern of the in-game beacon as well, which is nice. Do you identify as a boy or a girl, says Harry? I identify as a woman. Hi, George. How are you doing? Do you not like Elon Musk? Does anyone? I mean, he's the richest man in the world, and I don't think he has a single friend. I think I could count on one hand how many friends that man has. I think he is living proof that money can't buy you happiness. Because I've never seen someone so rich and yet so miserable. Good afternoon, Callum. How are you doing? Mr. Trump. Donald Trump's not even his friend anymore. They had, like, a very public falling out. Like, even Donald Trump isn't friends with Elon Musk at this point. I'm not exaggerating when I say the man has no friends. Okay, wow, this thing absolutely dwarfs this tractor, by the way. This tractor is very small, actually. Again, look how short it is. It's a very tiny tractor, to be quite honest. But it does apparently meet the horsepower requirements for this cultivator, so we'll just have to see if it works for us. Jackson says, I've been baling for an hour and a half. Nice one, Jackson. I'm going to be honest, baling I don't really enjoy too much. Well, the baling itself is actually not too bad. It's the bale handling, it's picking the bales up afterwards. That's what gets me, because I'm terrible with that sort of thing. James Diego says, all that at Donald, but you're trans. Not sure what that's got to do with anything. I think people across the world, of any race, religion, or gender, can come together in mutual dislike of Donald Trump. And they have done. I don't think it's exclusive to trans people. I think pretty much everyone on Earth hates him. What's your favourite car, says Luke Con. I'm not really a car person, Luke, but I'm a big fan of Aston Martins. I think the Aston Martin DB9 is probably my favourite car. Get a bale loader, you drive by and it picks it up and puts it on the tractor, says Jackson. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. But then it defeats the point, you know? How do I be a Patreon, says CA. If you go to the link in my bio, CA, it will take you through to my Patreon, where you can become a supporter for £1 a month, and you will get your name on the board, you get a shout out on stream, and you get access to behind-the-scenes content. Sometimes I do early access videos, sometimes I do like outtakes and uncut footage, sometimes I do making-of style videos and stuff like that. So you do get a few nice benefits, and you get obviously a shout-out on stream. So do check that out in my bio if you're interested. Hi, Trucker Hugo, how are you doing? The only thing about the class is it's very slow. Rip Diogo Jota, says Ob. I'm not sure who that is, Ob. But Rip. What's the game? The game is Farming Sim 25. He's a footballer for... Oh, actually, no, I heard about this. I actually heard about this on the train yesterday. So, funny story. When I went to the Peak District yesterday, there were some lads on the train who were going to Manchester Airport, and they were talking out loud about a footballer who just died in a car crash. So I didn't know the name, but I actually did hear about this yesterday on the train by accident. So yeah, honestly, rest in peace. You know, what a horrible way to go. Not really into football, so I don't really know the guy or, you know, who he was or what he was like, but, you know, goes without saying, rest in peace. This is the best stream. Thanks, Trucker Hugo. He just got married 6 days... Yeah, I heard that as well, that he'd only just got married. That is... I mean... like... As Ob says, life is unfair, you know. Things like that do happen, unfortunately. And his brother died as well. Damn. Thanks for following, Trucker Hugo. Do you stream every day? I don't. I stream 3 days a week. Currently, my schedule is Farming Sim on Friday, Minecraft on Monday, and Euro Truck on Tuesday. Got to take every day for granted, says Ob. Yeah, honestly. Or rather, don't take it for granted. You know, live life to the fullest. Make sure that you spend every day as if it's your last, you know, honestly. Because you never know when it could be. I'll definitely watch Euro Truck. Thanks, Hugo. He died with his brother, Andre Silva, but Diogo Jota is the only one getting any attention. Yeah, that is unfortunate, Archie. That does tend to happen with, like, celebrities. If there's, like, multiple people die, you'll only really hear about the biggest name, which is tragic, you know. Often people don't hear that, oh, this other person also died. And obviously that should get recognition as well. Steering assist. We'll just go 2 headlands because it's quite a wide machine. There we go. What are you playing? Farming Sim 25. Only 28 as well, damn. On a lighter note, though, again, I did go to the Peak District yesterday. I did a 15-mile walk Had an absolutely fantastic day. And I actually recorded over an hour of footage this time. So the video is probably going to be my longest one yet. But if you enjoyed my previous 2 Peak District documentaries, there is going to be a 3rd one coming in the next week or so. I went to Lady Bower Reservoir in Bamford. I visited Win Hill, Hope Cross, and a few other places. Derwent Dam. Fantastic time, fantastic day out. Like I say, lots of footage recorded. There will be some uncut footage on Patreon in a couple of days. And then next week at some point, the actual video is going to be coming out. So do keep your eyes out for that. Again, if you're interested in my Peak District stuff. This is so good to watch whilst in my truck. Thanks, Hugo. Thanks for following Who is Kitty Cat. I am glad we got the Challenger as well, though, because this is the perfect tractor for this kind of work. Like, whenever I think of a Challenger, whenever I think of a Caterpillar tractor, I think of ploughing, cultivating, that kind of stuff. This is the kind of work that this tractor is really built for. Okay, we might miss a little bit on the corner there. Yep. Okay, we'll back it up just a tad. You're the best streamer I've ever watched, to be honest. High praise, Hugo. Thank you. I do my best, you know. GPS for headlands? Yes, I'm using GPS steering for the whole field. Just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, this might be a problem because the GPS actually goes round this corner. Yep, I thought it might do that. It's cut off the corner again. Even if it is just the tiniest bit, I'd prefer to make sure we don't miss any. Oh, it's nice being in the cab when it's raining. Quiet stream today, by the way, which is unexpected because normally my farming sim streams are the busiest stream that I do. We normally get quite a lot of attention, not all of it positive, but there's normally like 200-300 people. Bit quieter today. I wonder why. Share the stream, you know, get other people in if you can. I was honestly, I prepared myself for a very busy stream again. I was like, this is gonna be one of those streams where you get tons of views and tons of trolls. But we haven't really had much in that direction today. It's been nice and quiet so far. So I'm going to poke the bear, invite your friends, share the stream. Let's get a few more people in here. Hi, Finley, and hi, Hazza. Are the steering wheel mods in-game or an add-on? What do you mean by steering wheel mods, Jack? Hello, Peugeot. How are you doing? If you don't mind me asking, are you pronouns he or she? She, her. Thanks for asking, Connor. What's your gender? I'm a trans woman. V8 boy. I came out 4 years ago. Oh, the automatic steering. Oh, that's not a mod. The automatic steering is from the base game on FS25. There we go, SK. That's more like it. That's the kind of comment that I was expecting to see today. It only took an hour. What wheel are you using? Says Dan the man. This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. I got it as a bundle with the side panel here and 2 pedals for £230. Thanks for following Dan the man, by the way. What's your stance on abortion, says Jed Hill. Check my most recent video, Jed. I think I made it pretty clear in that video where I talked about the recent House of Commons ruling on the decriminalisation of abortion in this country. I think it's amazing. I think it's about time. I'm very glad that they've finally voted to make it, to decriminalise it. It's a massive win for women everywhere. But yeah, check out the video. If you don't mind me asking where you're from, says Trucker Hugo, I am from Doncaster in South Yorkshire. Can I see the headset dent, says Harry. I don't have a headset dent, Harry, believe it or not. My hair keeps it back. You shouldn't have an opinion anyway, says Kieran. You know what, Kieran? You are absolutely right, to be honest. People who can never get pregnant should not have an opinion on abortion. It is not my right to have an opinion on abortion. I'm pro-abortion anyway, but the fact is, it really shouldn't be my decision, which is why it's so wild that, in a legal sense, it is decided mostly by men. But again, it's irrelevant because the House of Commons voted to decriminalise it. Going forward, the abortion will not be a criminal offence in this country, which is a huge win. Again, I think it's about time that this decision was made. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is not my place to comment on it. I shouldn't have an opinion on it because I will never be in a position where I need to get an abortion. And I think that anyone who is incapable of getting pregnant should never have anything to say about abortion because it's never going to affect you directly. Abortion should only be acceptable in certain circumstances, said Dan. Nope, I disagree. Anyone should be entitled to an abortion. Up to a certain cut-off point, obviously, once the fetus has reached a certain level of viability, then there should be heavier restrictions in place. I think if you're like 5 weeks pregnant and you just don't want it, you should be able to abort it. It should be as simple as that. It should be your choice, absolutely. There should not need to be a medical necessity. It should literally be as simple as, I'm pregnant, I don't want it, I'm getting an abortion. That should be it. That should be the end of the discussion. And thankfully, it seems the House of Commons has finally agreed that that's the case. So, I completely disagree, says Kieran. Well, fortunately, Kieran, as you just said to me 5 minutes ago, your opinion's irrelevant because you can't get pregnant. So, if you're going to hold me to that standard, you need to hold yourself to the same standard. You can't get pregnant, it is not your place to say. So I don't care. I think the roads on that map are so tight, says Peugeot. They are, Peugeot. Yeah, getting back to the actual game, let's leave the heavy topics behind and get back to the farming game that I'm playing. The roads on this map are quite tight. Fortunately, I haven't got any massive equipment yet. The biggest tractor I've got is probably the New Holland, to be honest, so we haven't had any trouble yet. The combine's quite big, and we did have a little bit of trouble getting that around. But yeah, very tight roads. Can we see the farm, says Peugeot? Yes, Peugeot. Once I've done this, I will be heading back to the farm. Oh, we missed the tiniest bit there. I'll get that on the way back down. Is that thunder in the background, says Captain Riley? It is, Captain Riley, yes. How do you turn your wipers on, says Josh? They come on automatically. Unfortunately, there is no control over it in Farming Sim. They just come on when it's raining and then they stop when it stops. Have you played Lady Hill, the map on Farm Sim, says Trucker Hugo? I haven't, Trucker Hugo, no. I haven't actually played any modded maps apart from this one so far. What's a VA boy, says Captain... I don't know. I don't know, Captain Riley. What is a VA boy? Is that the setup for a joke? I don't know. Opinion on illegal immigrants, says Kieran. Well, Kieran, based on your stance on abortion, I think we can probably just say I probably disagree with you on whatever your stance on illegal immigrants is, and we'll just leave it at that. I can almost guarantee it's the opposite of whatever your opinion on it is. It's an Irish map, says Trucker Hugo. Okay. I might check it out. I do love British and Irish maps. There aren't enough of them in Farming Sim, so I'll definitely give it a look. The tractor can go up to 50, you know, says CL Love This car. This tractor can't. This tractor can't even go up to 30. This tractor does not have a very high top speed. Some can, yeah. The JCB Fast Track, I think, is the fastest tractor in the world, and that can do, like, 55. Just do spuds if it's an Irish map, be authentic, says Barbed Wire. Unfortunately, Barbed Wire Silk, potatoes are the most boring crop in the game. I'm sorry, but it has to be said. Potatoes, sugar beet, they're so boring because the equipment is this wide and it goes at 3 miles an hour. If I had a field this size filled with potatoes, it would take me 5 hours just to harvest this one field. Sorry, but it's the way it is. Potatoes are so boring in this game. How, in 2025, have they not invented a potato harvesting machine that can do more than 3 miles an hour? I don't know. Fair play to you and all the best. Well, thanks, I guess, Kieran. Goat, says Numerator. Thanks, Numerator. Rip Diego Jota, says Will and Harley. Indeed, yes. I've heard the news. Again, I don't really follow football, but I have heard about Diego and his brother. What's the game? Farming Sim 25. Hey, Oliver, how are you doing? Do you play any other games, says Harley? Yes, I play Minecraft on a Monday and Euro Truck on a Tuesday. It's Diogo. Oh, sorry, Diogo. Barbed Wire Silk says, you're calling us potato pickers boring now? You've broken me, soul. I'm sorry, Barbed Wire Silk. I'm sorry. I missed last Monday. What happened? Says Jackson. Okay, so in the last Minecraft Monday, we built the we finished building the first floor of our new building. It's absolutely huge, by the way. It looks really good. This week we're going to be putting in some of the machinery. I think we're going to build a automated biodiesel plant because at the minute we're having to manually input products into the biodiesel generator. But obviously, with all the mines that we've got running right now, they're all running off of diesel power. So we really do need to automate production of biodiesel. So we're probably going to be doing that in the next Minecraft Monday stream. Sorry if you don't want to answer. What's your pronouns? She, her. Thanks for asking, Harley. What are your favourite games, says Numerator? Pretty much all the games that I play on stream are up there. Obviously, I don't play games that I don't enjoy. So Euro Truck, Farming Sim, Minecraft, Factorio, Train Simulator, they're all up there for me. They're all some of my favourites. I'm a big fan of sci-fi games. Obviously, we do have a series called Sci-Fi Sunday where I've played Alien Isolation, I've played Portal 2, I've played the Oddworld series. I'd love to do Subnautica at some point. I fucking love Subnautica. Back in my very short-lived Twitch days, for those of you who don't know, I did stream on Twitch in 2022 for about 2 months. But during that illustrious Twitch career, I did play a lot of Subnautica, and I'd love to play it here on TikTok as well. Absolutely love that game. In fact, maybe we could even do it as a lead-up to Subnautica 2. That'd be cool, because Subnautica 2 has been announced, and I think it's coming out in like 2027 or something like that. So we could play Subnautica as in like the run-up to Subnautica 2, and then we could play Subnautica 2 on stream as well. Have you ever watched The Rookie? No, I haven't, Harley. Oh, back it up. Back it up. Whoops. Saying Twitch deducts video, said Jackson. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jackson. Will you change your voice? Just asking, says Charlie. Yes, at some point, I do want to do voice training. Obviously, I don't have the most feminine voice in the world, and it is something that I want to fix. But at the same time, I've kind of come to terms with my voice at this point. I would like to change it eventually, but I'm not... You know, it's not like... It's not something that I need to do right now, you know? Why is the ETS2 update 20 gigabytes, says Peugeot? I've no idea, Peugeot. Although I won't be upgrading it. I'm still on beta 1.54 because I've been playing modded recently. How did your family and friends react, says Brian? They took it very well, Brian. The first person I came out to in my family was my stepmom, who has been, you know, she's been in the family for like 18, 20 years, so she's essentially a third parent to me. She was the first person that I came out to. She took it really well. Then I came out to my mum and dad, who also took it really well, and then after that to my brothers and sisters. But my parents really... They weren't particularly surprised. They thought I was gay. They thought I was going to come out as gay. When I told them, you know, I've got something to tell you, can we sit down and have a chat? They thought I was going to come out as gay. So when I came out as trans, they were like, well, you know, not what we were expecting, but we're not totally surprised. So really, they took it really well, because they kind of suspected already, you know? They knew I was queer, they just got the wrong flavour. Let's put it that way. But yeah, they took it really well. All my family have taken it very well. Even my extended family, which was unexpected, like my grandparents particularly, I didn't expect them to take it as well as they did, but they really did. I actually was a bridesmaid at my grandma and granddad's wedding last year, which was amazing, and I just didn't... I really didn't expect to see that kind of acceptance from my older family members. Not that I was expecting them to be out and out bigoted, because we don't really have any of that in our family, but I was surprised by just how well they took it and how quickly they accepted it. My granddad in particular is always asking questions. He's like really curious about it, which is unexpected. Like I just didn't expect my older family members to be that supportive and that curious, and really just wanting to be a part of the journey and be there to support me along the way. So very pleasantly surprised. Like I say, I'm incredibly lucky that just everyone in my family has taken it so well and just been there for me every step of the way. Do you plan to transition anymore, says Dewhurst? Yes, I do plan to take hormones. HRT is definitely something that I want to do, but no more than that. Really, I don't want any surgery or any sort of transition in that regard. The only thing that I feel is really necessary for me personally is HRT, and also eventually voice training would be something nice to do. Hey Logan, how are you doing? Does it bother you when people tell you what you can and can't do, says Jackson? I'm not sure what you mean, Jackson. If you mean people online, no, absolutely not. No, I mean, what are they going to do? No, I take absolutely no notice whatsoever of what people online tell me I can and can't do, because it's really none of their business. Whenever someone's like, "Oh no, you can't you can't transition, you can't take HRT, you can't just change your gender," I'm never going to meet you in real life. I don't even know who you are. I don't know what you look like. Your opinion is worthless to me. I'm not going to take orders from someone on the internet, you know? So no, I really don't take any notice of people telling me what I can and can't do on the internet. Hello, BH8, how are you doing? What is HRC? HRT, Freddy, is hormone replacement therapy. So for trans women, that means estrogen, and also potentially progesterone and estradiol. For trans men, it means testosterone. Okay, where am I going to put the cultivator here? I think I'll just put it alongside the pig pen here. We're not actually going to be getting pigs for a long time, so I think we can pretty much just use this space as a parking area for our equipment, you know? Okay, it's also stopped raining now, but more rain is forecast, so if we're going to fertilise field 31, we need to do it straight away. How long have you been playing this game? Says Tiki Toki. I first started with FS15, which I got as a Christmas present from my parents back in 2014, because the game's come out at the end of the previous year. So I got it Christmas 2014. It was also the same year that I got the PS4, so it was the first game I had on the PS4, and I was hooked from the start. I've loved it ever since. And I have owned every farming sim since 15. Apart from the mobile versions. Okay, now I am going to try to do this properly right now. Apparently there is pulse width modulation on this. There isn't selective spraying, so we can't like reduce the width. We have to spray the full width. But I think it's ready to go, actually. I think it's just ready to spray as is. Do we need to lower it? Nope. Then it touches the ground. Okay. Detect field. How long you live for today, says Mackenzie. Till 6 o'clock, Mackenzie. Is that a fake Logitech? Nope, it's a real Logitech, Dan. We'll just do one headland for this one. I think it's automatically said 1, so we'll just go with that. Okay. And there we go. Oh, Dan! You're the same Dan who came into a previous live stream and said, is that a fake Logitech? Well, I'm not going to argue with you, it's real. Oh, wait, is that not on? How do I turn it on? You don't have access to this land? Well, I do, it's my field. Is that... Why is it not spraying? Oh, it is spraying. It's just... Oh, it's because I've got pulse modulation on, so it only sprays the specific spots where it needs to spray. That's really cool. So you can see here, you'll occasionally see little bursts, but it's not like a constant spray. That's really cool. I like that. What's your name? My name is Saul. That's S-A-U-L. Oh yeah, you can see on the minimap it is definitely spraying because the nitrogen level is going up in our field. Get a front weight for the tractor, says James. We don't need one for this tractor, honestly. This sprayer isn't that heavy. What do you identify as, says Ted. I'm a trans woman, Ted. How are you today? What have you been up to? Not much today, Liam, to be honest. I've been having a bit of a rest because I went to the Peak District yesterday. Took a walk round Ladybower Reservoir in Bamford. Had a wonderful time. And I captured almost an hour of footage, so there will be a documentary coming in the next week or so. Why did you keep your original name? Says Chiwi Mave. Good question. I actually am planning on making a video about this at some point because it's a question that I do get asked a lot. The reason that I kept my name is just that I really like my name, you know? I think with a lot of trans people, obviously the name that you're given when you're born can have a lot of negative connotations. It can remind you of a time in your life where you were in the closet or you were repressing your emotions and stuff like that. So it's completely understandable that a lot of trans people want to get as far away from their name as possible and pick a new one. But for me personally, I've always thought Saul was a really fucking cool name. I was the only person in my school called Saul. I tell a lie, there was one other kid in my entire school called Saul. And it just really felt like I had such a unique name, you know? I hardly ever met anyone else with that name. And it just really felt like, wow, what a great name, you know? It felt really special to me personally, because I knew hardly anyone else with that name. So when I came out, I did experiment a little bit. I did consider changing my name to Rose, which is another name that I've always really liked, but it just didn't feel right hearing people calling me Rose. It didn't feel right hearing people call me anything other than Saul. It just always felt like that is my name. That's the name I was always supposed to have, you know? And I just decided, you know what? I'm going to keep it. It's a great name. I want to keep it, and I kept it. And that's why my name is still Saul, even though I've been out as a trans woman for 4 years. I did change my middle names because they were a lot more masculine gendered. But for me personally, again, because I knew hardly anyone else called Saul, I've never really thought of Saul as being a boy's name, you know, because I was the only person with that name, so it just always felt like my name, you know. Does that make sense? It didn't really feel like a boy's name because I was the only person with the name, right? Whereas if you compare it to something like James, which is what was one of my middle names, I knew loads of people called James, and they were all boys. So I always associated the name James as being a masculine name, but I never had that same association with Saul. It always just felt like my name. So that's why I kept it, and I'm very glad I did. I think it's a really cool name. It's a fairly rare name in this country. Even today, I've met very few people called Saul, and I've met even fewer women called Saul. I might be the only woman in the country called Saul, actually. Prove me wrong if there are any other women called Saul out there, but I feel confident that I may be the only one, which is pretty cool. When did you want to change then, says Harry? As I say, Harry, I came out 4 years ago. So I've been out since 2021. In fact, pretty much exactly 4 years ago, because it was in the summer of 2021. That's my aunt's name, says Giselle. Is it really, Giselle? That's really cool, if so. I have heard, actually, I have seen the name Saul with an E on the end. S-A-U-L-E is apparently a feminine name, which I didn't know. Obviously, I still spell mine without the E, which is the quote-unquote masculine way. But yeah, pretty cool. And is it pronounced differently with the E on the end, or is it still pronounced Saul? Just out of interest. Have you had any surgeries done, says T-Champ. I haven't, T-Champ, no, and I don't want to. I don't feel it's necessary for me personally, for my transition. It's not something that I feel is important to me. I'm quite happy with what I've got in that department. I've always said the only thing I really want to do transition-wise is hormone therapy. Surgery, not really something that I intend to do. It is pronounced the same. Thank you, Giselle. Good to hear. Thanks for following, Ethan. Thanks for following, James CWCS. Thank you as well, Harry and Ripley. Okay, which way are we going here? I think we're going to miss a little bit there. The field's a weird shape, so inevitably there will be a little bit missed. This is so wrong, says Owen. Go away then. What changing rooms do you dress in, says Harry. I don't. I honestly, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've had to use a public changing room since I've come out. So none. Oh, hold on. He is right, you need tramlines, says Jackson. That's a good point, Jackson. Although, to be fair, because of the guidance steering, it's not really necessary. I do think the narrow tyres should still damage the crops. I'm sure there's probably a mod for that. But I do think it'd be more realistic if there was still some crop damage from the narrow tyres, just obviously not as much as the wide tyres. Would you play 5M, says Wolf VR? Oh, I've been asked about this before. I looked into it and it doesn't really seem like my cup of tea, to be honest. Don't you get bored of this? Nope, I love this game. You didn't rate the first gen and the Mustang yesterday. Okay. Diesel dickheads, not sure what you mean by that. Trust me, I think you'd enjoy it, says Wolfie VR. I mean, I can have a look, Wolfie VR, I can have a look. Why are you wearing a girl top, says Rylan? I don't think the top actually has a gender, Rylan. I don't think the top is a girl or a boy. It's a top. It's an inanimate object. Anyway, Field 31 is now fertilised. Oh, it's four girls, right? Okay, but it's not a girl, is it? It's not a girl top, because that would imply that it's a top that is a girl, which it isn't. Sorry to be so pedantic about the grammar there. I just think it's important to get these things clear, you know. Okay, so the nitrogen is pretty much perfect now in Field 31 and 32. Field 35 is not right, but we haven't planted anything in there yet, so we'll work that one out later. But I think we can safely say that job is done. So if we go now to our task list, we can cross spray 31. 35 is still not fully prepared. I think it might have stones. Let's have a look, actually. Let's see what does need doing. Stubble tillage, yep. No weeds. No. Oh, actually, it doesn't need anything. It's ready to plant. So I think we can cross that off the list as well. There we go. And next we can... Well, let's check the crop calendar, because we're going to need something to plant in Field 35, right? So, crop calendar there. What can we plant in May? I think May is going to be the best time to plant. So we could do corn. We're doing corn. The only other options are grapes, which need specialist equipment, green beans, which need specialist equipment, olives, which need specialist equipment, parsnips, poplar, red beet, soybeans, which need specialist equipment. Actually, no, we could do sorghum or soybeans. Sorghum is very good price per ton, actually. It's got a very good price per ton. So maybe we'll do sorghum. Or soybeans. I think those are the best options. I'll let you guys decide. Should we do sorghum or soybeans? Let me know. If there's not enough votes, then I'll just decide myself. But let me know what you're thinking. Okay, let's get this back to the farm in the meantime. Thanks for the heart me, Trucker Hugo. Soybean, says Wilbo. Sorghum, says Jackson. Like 600 a ton. Yeah, it's a good price. What's the specs of your PC? Says Chelsea. 8GB graphics card, which is an RTX 2070. 32 gigs RAM. Intel i5 processor, 11400F. Woo, nearly. Whoa, actually, I've just gone off. And 5 terabytes of storage. People complain when they get bullied, but they do stuff like this. Why stream? You won't get bullied. I don't complain. I've never complained about being bullied on stream. In fact, I've never been bullied on stream, because most of the negative comments that I get, I just completely ignore. It's water off a duck's back, you know? So, no, I'm not going to stop streaming just because a few people tried to bully me. Because they really don't bother me in the slightest. Why do you need so much storage, says Chelsea. Good question, Chelsea. So first of all, right, there's two reasons that I have so much storage. First of all, because games these days are way too big. Games are absolutely massive these days. You need that much storage space. My last computer, I only had 2 terabytes of storage, but I had so many games installed, and they were so big that it got to the point where I would have to uninstall a game to make room for another game, you know what I mean? I'd be like, I haven't played this game for a while. Better uninstall this one so that I've got space to reinstall this other one, you know what I mean? So I was always running out of storage space on my old PC. But the other reason that I have so much storage is because I do keep all of my video files. So every video that I've ever posted on TikTok, I do have the full video files still stored on my computer. How much are you using? At the minute, I've used probably about 2 terabytes, so I've still got plenty of space for as much other stuff as is necessary. But yeah, it's essentially future-proof, you know. It's to make sure that I've got enough room for all of that stuff in future as well. That's FS25 says, you know, it is indeed. I followed. Thanks for following, Liv. Age, I am 26. But yeah, like I say, 5 terabytes, it does sound a bit like overkill. But you've got to remember, games these days, they're way bigger than they used to be. And also, because of the amount of video that I produce, there's lots of video files and audio files and just files in general that just take up space. So I really do need that much to make sure that I'm never gonna... It's never gonna get to the point where, oh shit, I don't have enough space for this video that I'm working on, you know? It's never gonna get to the point where I have to delete my old videos to make room for new ones, because I really don't want to have to do that. I like the fact that I can keep all of those files just for, you know, posterity, for preservation. Probably have to upgrade soon, says STFC. Well, this is actually a new computer, STFC. I've only had this computer about 6 months. So this was an upgrade. Sorry for asking, are you boy or girl, says Basket. I am a trans woman, Basket. So I was raised as a boy, came out as a woman 4 years ago, and I've lived as a woman ever since. Not you, me. Oh, yeah. Go for it, STFC. Do you save all your videos as well as posting, said Frederick? Yes, so all of my videos, every video that I've ever posted on TikTok, I also have the raw video files still on my computer. Just in case, because TikTok has been known to remove audio from videos or remove videos for certain copyright violations and stuff like that, so it's good to have the originals as a backup if necessary. Same with YouTube. I haven't actually had any videos removed from YouTube or muted, but I have had a couple of copyright warnings for some of the music that I've used on my videos on YouTube. So it's just a good idea to have those videos as a backup just in case. Because you never know when TikTok or YouTube is going to be like, right, this music's copyrighted now, we're taking your video down. Do you eat dinner, says Chelsea. Yes, I do, Chelsea. I have 2 meals a day. Dinner and tea. I do skip breakfast most days. I'm not very good at having breakfast. Which is weird, because I like having breakfast. I like a nice, you know, I love marmalade on toast, or a crumpet, you know, or even a bowl of fruit and nut. Nice bowl of muesli. So, I like having breakfast, I just don't very often, for some reason. But I do try to make sure that I get a full dinner and tea every day. Okay. Anyway, we now have 4 tractors. Look at that. Red, orange, green, and blue. And this is the smallest tractor we have at the moment. And it's also the oldest tractor. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it that it is significantly older than the others. But, fantastic tractor anyway. I've said it before. The Fiat 1500 DT... 1300 DT, sorry. Absolutely incredible tractor. I'm just thinking, actually, does it say the vehicle years here? It does. The class is from... Oh, no, it doesn't. Wait. Oh, it's because they're modded. Okay. So, unfortunately, we can't see the year that the Fiat was made. But it is the oldest tractor. You can tell just by looking at it. 150 horsepower. 1 second. Where is the Massey? 165. Okay, so let's look at the difference here. So this tractor, the Massey Ferguson, this only has 15 horsepower more than the Fiat. Shall we take a look at the price? Shall we take a look at the price difference between these two tractors? So the Massey. It's not the cheapest Massey, it's the second cheapest, I think. It's this one... No, it's not this one here. It's this one here. This tractor costs £150,000, right? For the same price, you could buy 3 of these, and it's only 15 horsepower less. So, £60,000 will get you 150 horsepower. £150,000 will get you 165 horsepower. So I think that just goes to show this tractor, incredible value for money. 150 horsepower for less than 60 grand. It is an absolute bargain. I'm sorry. I know I keep going on about it. It's just such a good tractor. Fucking love that tractor. Fiat 1300 DT. Recommend. Go get it. If you play Farming Sim, get this tractor. Anyway, what else have we got to do today? Let's head over to the sheep farm and just see how our sheep are getting on. Couldn't give a shit about your tractors, says Tommy One Tapped. Then why on earth, Tommy, are you watching a farming simulator live stream? Do tell. Why on earth would you come here if you're not interested in tractors? Thanks for following, Carmen. Hey girl, love Farming Sim. I play Farming Sim. Good, glad to hear it, Carmen. Okay, how are we doing then? So they're doing alright for food. Maybe put a little bit more food in. We've not got any wool yet, but they're not quite grown enough for wool. They're only, I think, 4 months old at this point. Tom says, that sheep identifies as a boat, by the way. Oh my god, Tom. Oh my god, I think that might be the single funniest thing I've ever heard. Holy shit. Tom, oh my god. Are you a comedian? You should get into stand-up comedy, Tom. Identifies as a boat. The sheep identifies as a boat. Oh wow. Oh wow. I think we should just end the stream right there. That's literally the single funniest thing I've ever heard. It's never going to get better than that. Bravo. Round of applause to Tom, everyone. I can't believe I've been outshined by the single funniest joke I've ever heard. Wow. Just absolutely incredible. Oh, it's going to take me a while to get over that one. I think I'll have to remember that one. I'll ring my mum after the stream and tell her that one because it was just so funny. Oh, a sheep identifies as a boat. Oh wow, incredible. What setup are you using? Fear control, says Carmen. Oh, what setup am I using for my controls? It's just plug and play, basically. All of the controls are like the default mappings for FS25, so it's literally just whatever the game decided it would be. KH says, I was at the golf course the other day and I was wondering why the ball kept getting bigger and bigger, and then it hit me. That's a genuinely good one, KH. Thank you. Very funny. Okay, I am going to try and feed a bale to our sheep. It's probably going to end badly because I'm famously not good at bale handling. Whoop. I nearly knocked that other one over there. Oh, and we dragged it. Good. Tom says, so I identify as a millionaire, the bank has to give me $1 million. I'm going to be honest, Tom. That's not as funny as your first joke. In fact, it's just the same joke, but worded slightly differently. Which is pretty much the only joke that transphobes know how to make anyway. It is literally just the same joke every single time. But I think the sheep one was funnier. The sheep identifying as a boat. I think that was where your comedy career peaked, Tom, I have to say. What's the brand of your steering and stuff? The steering wheel is Logitech, the gear shifter is Thrustmaster, but it doesn't work with Farming Sim anyway. There we go. And back to the farm. Hello, Bingo Dadia. How are you doing? Have you got a ding song? Says Harry. I think you might have meant ding dong, Harry. And yes, I do. Oh, hey, I think some new people have just joined the stream. Tom, tell the one about the sheep. Everybody listen. This is a good one. Tom, tell the one about the sheep again. Can we see it? User 621. No, user 621. I will not be showing you it. Thank you very much. Stop flirting with Tom, says right, but he's so funny, Riley. How could I not? I mean, I love a guy with a good sense of humor, you know, and I don't think I've met anyone quite as funny as Tom. I'm smitten. I'm smitten purely because of how funny his jokes are. Hit me up after the stream, Tom. DM me. You can tell the sheep joke again. Okay, I've accidentally got my bale spike stuck in a hedge there, so I'm just going to abandon that. We'll have to reset that to the shop, unfortunately. It got stuck in the wire fence there. Thanks for following, Driver Lukey. Thanks for following AA13ADM. Is this a PC game, says Curious Orange? It is, yes. It's cross-play, so you can get it on PlayStation and Xbox as well. And you can play multiplayer across platforms. Thanks for following Jin. Interesting. Oh, Thidgen. Interesting username, thank you. Pure Bants, fair play for taking it well, lad. Thanks, Tom. Thanks. It's all in good fun. We're all friends here. Well, I don't know. Most of you probably hate me, but we're all friends here. What steering wheel did you have? This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. Do you drive in real life? Someone says Curious Orange. I don't, Curious Orange, and I'm not interested in driving. I've never really wanted to drive in real life, to be honest. As much fun as it is to drive in video games, I just don't really want or need to drive in real life. Like, there's nowhere that I really need to get that I can't get with public transport, and there's so many expenses, you know, the car itself, tax, insurance, MOT, all sorts of other shit, fuel. It just isn't really a financially wise option when, again, I can pretty much get anywhere that I need to go with public transport. So I just don't really want or need to be honest. Wouldn't be able to anyway. Yeah, and as user621 points out, I probably wouldn't be able to anyway. I guarantee if I had a driving license, I would be dead within a week. Because you've seen how badly I drive in video games. Imagine me behind the wheel of an actual road vehicle. I would 100% be dead within a week of getting my license. So, it's not happening. Can I join your map, says James. It's single player only, James, unfortunately. Sorry about that. How much was the steering wheel? The steering wheel and side panel were £230 for the bundle. Okay, so we now need to reset the bale spike that we got caught in the hedge. And then I think we'll go to sleep, and then we can do the planting of the sorghum or soybeans, we still haven't decided yet, in field 35. Where is the bale spike? Magsy bale fork, that's the one. No, it's not. Oh, we can sell these. I didn't even realize we had these. These these are for the telehandler, which we already sold. Just found your Facebook, Chelsea says. It's my public Facebook, Chelsea. Well done. If you click the link in my bio, that will take you to my Instagram, which is linked to my Facebook. So, congratulations. It is public. It's not hidden. Well, it is private. My username's public, but pretty much everything on there is private anyway, so I'm really not that worried. So where is the actual bale spike that we need to reset then? There. Okay. View on map. Reset. When's Minecraft? On Monday, Zach. Is this wheel worth the money? It says, what a lot of sweets. I think so, yeah. It's very cheap. So if you're looking to get your first wheel on a tight budget, it is definitely the best option to go for, in my opinion. It's not very feature rich. It doesn't have, it's only simple plastic. There's no leather grips on the wheel or anything like that, and it doesn't have force feedback, so it doesn't vibrate. So it's a very basic wheel, but at the same time, it's cheap and it does its job. So if, like I say, if you're getting your first wheel, it is a good place to start. If you have a baby, are you doing with a boy or girl because you are a girl but you have a ding-dong? A ding-song, says Chelsea. I'm not sure what you mean by that question. If I have a baby... Okay, if I were to try for a baby, then it would have to be with someone who has a uterus, right? I have a penis. My partner would have to have a uterus. I feel like that's common sense. You need to have both of those to actually conceive a child. I don't think it's really relevant what gender either of the two people are, as long as you have both of those parts. That's really all that you need, right? You kind of look like Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch, says Jimmy. I'm going to take that as a compliment, Jimmy. Pleakley, queer icon. Any queer Lilo and Stitch fans out there will tell you that Pleakley is an absolute icon. Why are people asking these questions? Because the people who ask these questions spend more time thinking about what I have down my trousers than I do. I mean, I see that every day. I wake up in the morning and I see it in the mirror every day, and I still think about it less than random people on the internet do. How much was the steering wheel, says Connell? It was £230 for the wheel and the side panel, Connell. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to save, I'm going to sleep, and then we're going to plant whatever's going in field 35. Is it worth the money? I think it is, yeah. Like I was saying earlier, if you're just starting out and you want to get your first wheel, this is a really good place to start because it's very accessible for beginners. It's on the cheap side. It doesn't have the most features compared to some of the more high-priced wheels, but it does it does its job. It's cheap and it works. That's all there is to it, really. Are you British, says Adam. I am, yes. I am originally from Harrogate in North Yorkshire. I now live in Doncaster in South Yorkshire. £230 isn't cheap, mate, says Ronan. £230 is quite literally the cheapest steering wheel you are going to find on the internet. If you want to get a simulation steering wheel, brand new, this is literally the cheapest you can get. Most wheels go for somewhere in the region of £500–600. You will not get one cheaper than this if you're buying brand new. Saul Rose Ruby Ashbridge, says Chelsea. Yes, that is my name, which I have said here on TikTok many times before. Everyone here already knows what my full name is. Once again, you went to my public Facebook profile and found my public name, which I have shared publicly on TikTok many times before. I know you think you're trying to dox me right now, but it's not working. It's not working. This is all public information that anyone can find. Can I go on the board, please, says Adam. The board is reserved for my Patreon members, so if you support me on Patreon, you will get your name on this here board. You can do so via the link in my bio. It costs £1 a month, and you get access to behind-the-scenes content, like early access videos, uncut footage, outtakes, making of content, stuff like that. And yeah, also you get your name on the board, you get a shout out on stream, and it only costs you £1 a month, so you can't go far wrong. What's Patreon, said Adam? Patreon is just a place where you can go and support people making whatever content they make. Some people make like arts and crafts, some people do like video stuff, but it's just a way for you to put a little bit of money in my direction to support what I do here on TikTok. Which is not just live streams. If you're new here, I don't just play games on live streams. I do lots of other stuff. I do videos, I do documentaries, I do other bits and pieces. So if you want to support me in doing that sort of stuff, Patreon is the best place to do that. What's your mum's Facebook? My mum's not on Facebook, Ollie. Sean is his name, says Harry. Sean is whose name? Who's called Sean? I don't know anyone called Sean. Do you watch F1? Says It's Havoc. I don't. It's Havoc. No, I'm not really into racing. What wheel is it? Says Carter. Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. Okay, so I'm just gonna check before we start. What is the horsepower on the drill? $240. Okay, and what's the horsepower of our tractor? 260. Okay. It's Havoc says, give it a rest, Chelsea. You're not that funny. Don't worry, I blocked Chelsea. Because she was just spamming the same comment over and over again, and I was getting bored of it. Is FS25 better than FS22, says Connell? I think so, yeah. I've always believed that Farming Sim is one of those games that does improve with each iteration. It always gets me when people are like, oh, it's just basically the same game, but with new machines, because there is quite a lot of interesting new stuff in this one, you know? There's the ground deformation is a huge selling point of it. There's new crop types, obviously there's new equipment as well, there's the guidance steering, there's lots of bits and pieces. It's one of those games where there isn't one massive thing that's an improvement, but there's lots of little improvements, you know? Are you a student, says Jack? I'm not a student, Jack, no. Do you go by they or she? She, her. How old are you? I'm 26, Ronan. How's the farm getting along, says Soup. Very well, Soup. It's coming along nicely. We're just about to go and plant in field 35. I think we're going to be planting... Our options are sorghum and soybeans, but we still haven't decided. What's everyone thinking? Sorghum or soybeans? Are you using pedals, says Ronan? I am, Ronan, yes. I've got brake and accelerate pedals. Saul, how are you doing, Danny? Welcome. Oh, we can't actually get to field 35 in this direction. Oh, we're going to have to go all the way around. How long have you been trans for? I've been out for 4 years, Louis. Do sorghum, it's higher yield. They're both pretty good, though. Sorghum and soybeans are both pretty good. I think sorghum gets a higher yield, but soybeans has a higher price per ton, or something like that. So you get more sorghum, but you get a better price for the soybeans, so they work out at about the same price for a full field. And also, I like soybeans. I think I just enjoy doing them as a crop. So, hang on. Wait, can we not actually? We might not be able to plant soybeans with this harvester. Long grain rice, oilseed radish, grass, peas, spinach, wheat. Do we need a planter? I think we need a planter. This is a sowing machine. So we're going to have to go back to the shop and get a planter. Isaac is cool, says, good that people still have the courage to do this. Keep going, don't listen to the haters. Thanks, Isaac. Don't worry. I never do. Never have, never will. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Have you ever had a GF or BF? Says user 621. GF, yes. BF, no. But I'm open to. Not right now. I'm not really looking at the minute, but... thanks for following, Isaac is cool, by the way. How expensive is your setup? I want it, says Jekka. Okay, so the steering wheel, side panel, £230. Gear shifter, £70. Handbrake, £35. Beacon light, £5. Ignition lock, £60. And if you want to know about the rest of my stuff, monitors, keyboard and mouse, headphones, microphone, webcam, all that sort of stuff, do check out my second pinned video on my profile. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Do you get to drive cars in this game, says Harley. You can drive cars, Harley, yes. There's only one actual car, which is a Skoda. Skoda Kodiaq, I believe. But there's also a few pickup trucks. Unbranded, unfortunately. Do you claim benefits, says Jed Hill. No, I don't, Jed. Not that it's any of your business, but no, I don't. Is the game available on Xbox? Yes, Jekka, it is available on the latest Xbox. Lorries, yes, there are a few lorries available. Oh wait, this isn't where we wanted to park it, was it? Do you drive in real life, says Rob? Nope. And I don't plan to. You probably guess why. I just crashed into those eggs. Oh, we've got a full pallet of eggs, by the way, so we should probably go and do some egg selling at some point. What do you like about Farming Sim, or why did you start playing it? Says Roan Verkane. I've always been interested in farming. I've never actually been a farmer in real life, but I spent a lot of time on farms as a kid growing up. My granddad used to work on a farm, and he used to take me to work with him on weekends. Every Saturday from the ages of like 12 to, well, no, like 10 to 15, I used to go to work on the farm with my granddad on the weekends. And that's really what got me interested in farming. I didn't end up actually going into farming myself, but that's where the interest came from, and that's why I've always been interested in farming games like this one. Okay, I'm going to park up just for a second, because I want to have a look at the planter situation. Does it have licensed lorries, says Scott? Yes, there are licensed lorries, including Volvo. We can have a look here. We've got International. That's a bit of a small one. We got the International Transstar. One of the best American cab overs, which are very rare in the United States. They're mostly T cabs, but an American cab over there from International. We got a few from Mac. The Anthem is my the Superliner. Sorry, is my favorite. Love the Superliner. And we got a few Volvos, the FH Electric and FH16. We got a login version of the FH16 as well. And oh, the Globetrotter, a classic, well, sort of a retro Volvo truck there. So yeah, Volvo, Mac, International, some good brands there for trucks. You can mod on PC to get custom cars. You can indeed. Yes, I have got quite a few mods active right now. I'm not really interested in the cars, to be honest. So I don't have any car mods. You can see here there's the Skoda Kodiaq and Skoda Enyaq Coupe. But I don't have any car mods because I don't really bother driving cars too much in this game. There's Scanias on there. Don't think you can download. Yes, there are some Scanias on the mod hub as well. But obviously they're not crossplay because Giants don't have the license for them on consoles, so that'll be a PC only one. Sorry, Harley, I have just blocked Ollie. I do apologise. Okay, what I want to look at though is planters. Yeah, okay, these do soybeans and sorghum, so can we afford one is the question. And also, right, which is the biggest one we can get for our tractor? We can get the Optima for 89 grand. That's 180 horsepower. In fact, I have used this one a lot in FS 22 and 20... I think 19 as well, actually. And it is a really good one, so we might go with that. But we will need to take out a bit more money. Did you get the Heart Me? I don't know if it went through. Sorry, Isaac. Let me just check. I haven't read out many gifts today. Yes, thank you for the Heart Me. Isaac is cool. Thanks for the Rose, Marcus Bempton. Thank you for the Heart Me's from Trucker Hugo and Barbed Wire Silk. Very much appreciated, everyone. Okay, so we need 89 grand total. Well, we'll call it 90. Head over to finances. Borrow 5 grand. Okay, our loan is getting quite big now, though. Okay, so we now owe 125k in loans, but it does mean we can buy this planter now. I think we might need to do some contract work in the summer to make up for this. But this should do the job for us. Are they real, says Carp Collected? Nope. It's that's all foam. All the way down. Hi Elijah, how are you doing? Say hi back, please. I just did, Elijah. Hi. How you doing? Fair play, says Calm Collector. Yeah, they will be real one day. I do want to do HRT, but for now, they're just foam. How's the crops? Says Bill Dice. Very good, Bill. We're just about to plant some soybeans in field 35. I have decided it is going to be soybeans. I know a couple of people wanted sorghum, but I just prefer soybeans, so we're going to do some of that. Thanks for following Azzy Ice Viking. So we've actually got quite a bit done today. There's still 40 minutes left, so we'll have time to do the next field. But yeah, we've made pretty good progress. We've harvested. No, we haven't harvested. We've cultivated field 35, and now we're about to plant it. We've fertilized. Sorry, field 31, and we've sold the wheat. So we've done a few jobs today, and we did a little bit of feeding the sheep as well. Okay, why are you not connecting? Am I a little bit off there? Mute Luke if you haven't. He's disrespecting Isaac. Says Isaac. I won't mute people just for negative comments. I only really mute people for spam. A few negative comments isn't really that big of a deal. Like I say, it's only people who spam messages and just comment the same thing over and over again. That's when I'll mute or block. But I'm really not bothered about a few negative comments. Okay, so there is our soybeans. Solid fertilizer. Do we have some of this back at the farm? I don't know. I think I'll buy some new anyway. And we'll have to come over here with the pallet fork later to get what's left over and take it back to the farm. Turn off your camera, I want to watch this, not you, says Aman. Well, unfortunately, Aman, it is a package deal. You want to watch the stream, you get this face. Okay, now we're filling with solid fertilizer. Oh, this takes 2 bags. Okay, nice one. Of course it puts the second bag over there, so now I've got to go back over that way again. This planter also doesn't turn corners very well because the guard sticks out too far. You'll see what I mean when we get on the road. Oh, whoops. Only a tip, you can make your cam a bit smaller so the gameplay is bigger, says Neo. I can't do that, unfortunately, Neo. I can't make the game any bigger without cutting off the sides of the game window. The only way to have the whole game window in is to have it this size, so the game is as big as I can have it without streaming in landscape, which nobody watches. I have it on good authority that 90% of viewers, if they see a horizontal live stream, they'll just keep scrolling. So it's much better for me to stream vertically, but that does mean that the game window is a bit small. Thanks for following, Michael 508. I just don't get why people can't be nice, says Venoms. I gave up on trying to figure that one out a long time ago, Venoms. They just can't. There's no reason for it. There's no explanation for it. Some people just are born to hate. Some people are just born to make people miserable. Thank you for all the roses, Evan Kia. I'm not sure how to pronounce your surname there, but thank you, Evan, for all the roses. Thank you so very much. Much appreciated. How many is that in total? 28, 35 roses. Thank you so much. What did your dad say about you, and what does your mum say to you? My parents are both very supportive, if that's what you were wondering about, CCC. I have a very supportive network of family and friends around me. Everyone's been there for me every step of the way. Very, very grateful. Very, very lucky to have such an understanding family. Are there big differences on FS22 to 25, says Timonen02. Big differences, not really. Small differences, yes. I would say, Harry, you don't actually have to spell out the word queer. You can just say it. It's not muted in the chat. In fact, I actually use the word queer to describe myself, so there's no need. There you go. There's no need to spell it out in individual letters. You can just say the word queer. I am queer. I'm part of the queer community. But anyway, going back to Tim's question, I think the biggest change is probably the ground deformation, which is pretty interesting. It's not as realistic as something like Mud Runner, for example, but I wouldn't want it to be. I think that'd be too much for Farming Sim. It's the perfect amount of realism, so that's probably the biggest change, but there's lots of smaller changes as well. There's GPS steering now in the base game. There's new tractors and equipment, obviously. There's new crop types. There's new animals. There's better weather. There's also, you can have natural disasters, which includes tornadoes and blizzards, which is great if you're playing on like an American map, for example. If you're playing like an American Midwest map, having tornadoes happen every now and then is, again, a bit more realism. So there's lots of small things like that that just improve on it. But yeah, I'd say overall, there isn't one big thing, but it's better in lots of small ways. You know what I mean? It's not that bad of a word. Some may find it offensive as well. Yeah, I am aware some people don't like the word queer, especially older people within the community. It does have negative connotations. It is a word that has historically been used against queer people. I think it's one of those words that has sort of been reclaimed, and a lot of younger people in the queer community use that word. But I am aware that there are certain people who don't like it, who don't like to use that word. For me personally, I think it's a perfect word. I think it's just a good word to sum up the community. Rather than saying LGBTQIA+ every single time, it's a lot easier to just say queer. It's a lot easier to just say the queer community than the LGBTQIA+ community, you know? And I just think it's a good word. Again, I know it's not for everyone. Some people don't like the words. For me personally, I think it's fine. Faith Tractor says Josh Haim. Okay, there's a couple of contenders, Josh. First of all, I love the original Cat Challenger, the Cat 65C, which was the first ever Challenger from Caterpillar. Brilliant machine. Second, the Massey Ferguson 135. I feel like everyone has this on their list of favourite tractors. It's an absolute icon. And third, it has to be said, the Fiat 1300 DT is amazing. I love this tractor. It's incredible. I didn't even know it existed until I played Farming Sim 19, and I've loved it ever since. It's tiny, it's cheap, and it's powerful. It's an absolute workhorse. Love this thing. I love you, you beautiful bastard. I love the Fiat 1300 DT. Anyway, back to work. No hate, just a question. Are you trans? I am indeed. Armut Woolmus. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your surname there, but yes, I am indeed transgender. How are you, says Tony. I'm good, thanks, Tony. How are you? Say hi to Daniel Cowley. He's a massive fan. Okay, hi, Daniel Cowley, if you're watching. Thanks for following, Tony. Okay, I don't think we can plant right now because it is raining, but we can fold up and we can just get into position and wait till the rain stops. Oh, we might need... Oh, shit, we need to wait. Oh, I did not realise how heavy this this trailer was. Okay, we've got time. We can quickly head back to the shop and get a front weight. Just in case, though, do we have a front weight already? Let's just have a quick look in vehicles, see if we've got anything that fits the bill. I should have checked how heavy the planter was before we bought it. Okay, we don't have one. Are you going to stream a little longer, says Ob? Probably not. I think we will be ending on time today, but we'll see what happens. The Cavernaland weighs 5 tons. Okay, let's have a look at front weights then. Oh, there's a New Holland one. Okay, well, we'll just go for the New Holland one then, because it matches our tractor. That's 1 ton. That'll do. How was your stream? How was your week? Up to anything good? Says Ob. Yes, I've had a fantastic week, Ob. I went to the Peak District yesterday. I went to Lady Bower Reservoir in Bamford. I did a 15-mile walk. Absolutely incredible day. I got lots of video. I will be doing a documentary-style video in the next week or so. But yeah, fantastic day. Took loads of pictures, lots of video. Lovely weather. Really great time. I have to go for dinner, so I might join later. Depends if you're still streaming. Have fun. See you later, Isaac. I do finish streaming at 6, so you might miss the end of the stream. But I will be streaming again on Monday for Minecraft if you want to join me for that. But thank you for joining. I do that sprinting, says Alfie. Do you do it up the side of a hill, though, Alfie? Do you do it up the side of one of the tallest hills in the Peak District? Because then I'll be impressed. If you do, I'll be impressed. I feel like people really underestimate the difference between 15 miles on level ground and 15 miles on, like, rough, hilly terrain. Because it feels like twice as much, you know? Like, I could easily walk 20-25 miles if I was on flat ground. But in the Peak District, 15 is my limit. 50. I was absolutely exhausted by the end of the day. I don't think I could walk further than that in a place like the Peak District. But anyway, yeah, had a fantastic time. There will be a video coming. Really, really great. How long did it take you? It took me 6.5 hours, roughly. I got off the train in Bamford at 9:30. And I got to the bus stop at the Lady Bower Inn at just gone 4. So... Oh no, that's 7.5 hours, isn't it? 7.5 hours. Which is an average of about 2 miles an hour. But again, you do have to consider I was going uphill for a lot of the journey. I was stopping and starting to get video and to take photos and stuff like that. So, yeah, took me a while. Jackson said, I've been there, I walked 15 miles. Nice one, Jackson. Do you have one thing, says T-Siog Pro. One, I'm not sure what you mean. What does that whiteboard mean, says Neil? That is my Patreon supporters, Neil. So these are the people who support me financially via Patreon. If you would like to do so, it only costs £1 a month. That is, well, after tax it works out at like £1.20, but that's £1.20 for a whole month. You get your name on the board, you get a shout out on stream, and you get access to behind the scenes stuff, uncut footage, early access videos, outtakes, making of videos, stuff like that. So you get a few nice benefits, and again, it's only £1 for the whole month, so it's really not too much. So if you do want to just give me that little bit of financial support, Patreon is the best place to do that. Why you got your sister's dress on? It's not a dress, it's a shirt. And it's also not my sister's. Just let's get that clear as well. Is this a good map? Says JVCP. It is, Jamie. Yeah, it's a great map. I've had lots of fun with it so far. Really, really cool. I love maps that represent the UK because there isn't enough representation for the UK in Farming Sim. But this does a really good job, and it's based on Sheffield, which is very local to me. I'm over in Doncaster, so it's very familiar. What are you doing? Because I'm getting bored of the game, says Jamie. At the minute, I'm just planting. I'm about to plant some soybeans. Watch pronoun she, her. Thanks for asking, Swifty. Did you go to Pride this year, says Rectory. As far as I know, Doncaster Pride hasn't happened yet. If it has, then I have missed it. But I will have to have a look. Do your parents know? Yes. My parents were the first people in my family that I came out to. First I came out to my stepmom, then my dad, and then my mum. And they have all been incredibly supportive. Everyone in my family has been so supportive of me over the last 4 years. They've been there for me every step of the way. Hugely grateful, and I'm aware of how lucky I am to have such a supportive family around me, because a lot of people don't. You know, a lot of people unfortunately do get shunned and, you know, sort of outed from the family. But my family have been really great, and I'm very grateful and very lucky to be in that position. Just looked for you. Doncaster Pride is 9th of August. Thanks, Jamie. So I haven't missed Doncaster Pride, and I would like to go this year. I've never actually been to a Pride festival or a Pride parade, and I wanted to last year, but I did miss it. So maybe this year, hopefully this year, could be my first Pride festival. Thanks for following Autistic Jasper and Evan Kyo 11. Again, tell me if I'm pronouncing your surname right, Evan. Thanks, Weeman Plays, as well. Love Farming Sim. Me too, Weeman Plays. It is Farming Sim 25, yeah. Your dad is proud, right? Says SK9. He is, yes. My dad has been... I would say out of all of my family, my dad has been the most vocally supportive of me. I mean, all of my family have been great about it, have been really supportive, but my dad in particular has always really stood in my corner and defended me, which I'm very grateful for. I absolutely appreciate that. I think as well, because I'm the oldest in the because I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and I'm like my dad's first kid, I'm not saying that I'm the favourite, because I'm not. I know for a fact that I'm not the favourite, but I think because I'm the first kid, you know, there's a sort of special connection that a father has with their first kid, right? And I think for that reason, he's really gone out of his way to be as supportive as he possibly can, which is really nice. Again, I'm not his favourite. I'm not going to say who the favourite is, but we all know it. We all know who it is. But yeah, he's been great. He's been very supportive of me through the years. He's been there every step of the way. Huge shout out to my dad. Huge shout out to my entire family. Thank you all so much. They're probably not watching right now, but thank you all anyway. Do your family call you she? Yes, they do, Yoda. Well, normally they call me Saul. They don't just be like, hey, she. You know, they do call me by my name on most occasions. Thanks for following, Numerator. Okay, I still don't think we can plant yet because of the rain. This weight might actually not be heavy enough, because there is still a little bit of a... It's still wobbling a little bit at the front. Once it's down, it might be alright, but we'll see. When's it going to stop raining? Let me just check the weather forecast. 10 o'clock. Okay, it's going to be soon then. Love playing this game so much, says Autistic Jasper. Me too. Absolutely love Farming Sim. Are you planning to change your name, says Yoda. I'm not, Yoda. Well, technically, I already have changed my name. I changed my 2 middle names, which used to be James Bernard. My middle names now are Rose Ruby, which I think are a lot more fitting. But I didn't change my first name. I am very happy with my first name. I've always really liked the name Saul. I've always thought that that name really suited me. So I've always wanted to keep it, and I'm very glad that I did. I actually am planning on doing a video about this, because I really want to talk more about why I kept my name and why I chose to change my middle names but not my first name. So yeah, there probably will be a video about that at some point, but I just think Saul's a really great name, and I've got no reason to change it, you know? Genuine question, will your voice ever change, says Matthew. So my voice can change with training, yes, and I do want to do voice training. Unfortunately for trans women, your voice doesn't change when you take hormones. It does for trans men. Trans men on testosterone will get a deeper voice, but estrogen will not raise the pitch of your voice. Like, once it's dropped, it stays dropped, you know what I mean? So I can do voice training, but unless I want to get surgery on my vocal cords, which I don't want to do, there's really no other way to get my voice to a more feminine pitch, as it were. Thanks for following, Logan. What an interesting fact. Yeah, so it's because testosterone causes your vocal cords to loosen, which is why when boys go through puberty, their voices get deeper. But once they've loosened, they can't be tightened back up again unless you have surgery on them. Which, again, that's why if you take testosterone as a trans woman, it makes your voice deeper. As a trans man, sorry, it makes your voice deeper. But if you take estrogen as a trans woman, it can't make it go back up again. So yeah, fun fact for you there. Thanks for following, SPF Lover. Aflix says, when's your next period? I don't get periods because I was born male, and I am biologically male. I suspect you already knew that, though, Aflix, but thanks for the question anyway. Oh, come on, when's this rain going to stop? I really want to plant. I haven't actually had a drink this whole stream. I'm drinking an interesting concoction today. I'm drinking Iron Brew Diablo Cherry energy drink. I'm not the biggest fan. I've tried the original Iron Brew one, which tastes a bit like Iron Brew with Love Hearts mixed in. You know, the Love Heart sweets? It tastes like that. It tastes like Iron Brew and Love Hearts mixed together. This kind of just tastes like Cherryade. Like Bar Cherryade. It is made by Bar, obviously. Iron Brew's owned by Bar. But yeah, it just tastes like very fizzy Cherryade. Which is alright, but it says Iron Brew on the tin. I was expecting Iron Brew, you know? So it's good, but it's not what I was looking for. Do you have brothers or sisters, says TCOG. Yes, I have 4 brothers and sisters. I've got 2 of each, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. They're all younger than me. I am the oldest of 5. Although, technically, they're all half-siblings. So I have 2... I have a half-brother and sister on my dad's side, and I have a half-brother and sister on my mum's side. So, all in all, 2 half-brothers, 2 half-sisters. And they know about that? Yes, they do. They know that I'm trans. I'm very active. We're all very active in each other's lives, you know. We're all fairly close in age. My youngest brother turned 18 a few weeks ago, so we're all adults now. We're all fairly close to each other age-wise. And yeah, of course they like me. I mean, I'm pretty sure they like me. Maybe it's just because I buy them things once a year on their birthdays, but they do, at least outwardly, seem to like me. Watch pronoun she, her. Thanks for asking, Akelian. Interesting username. Do you stream anything else, says Weeman Plays. Sorry, Weeman Plays. I will get round to this question. Yes, so currently I stream Minecraft on Monday and Euro Truck Simulator on Tuesday. But that's the schedule at the minute. Monday, Tuesday, Friday. That's going to be the schedule for the foreseeable future. Oh, that's my type of gaming, says Weeman Plays. You'll love both of the games. I am someone who loves to play modded games, so I've got obviously I've got loads of mods here on Farming Sim, but also Minecraft got about 100 mods on there. Euro Truck, we got nearly 200 mods on there. So yeah, you'll definitely want to join if you like Minecraft or Euro Truck Simulator. If you like playing games with lots of mods like I do, definitely come along to Monday and Tuesdays live streams as well. Okay, we'll just do one headland for this one, I think. That's incredible. I'll be joining. Do you stream on Twitch or just TikTok? I stream on YouTube if you want to watch the streams over there. I don't really interact with the YouTube chat very much. I don't really get many views on YouTube anyway. The only reason that I stream on YouTube is so that I don't have to upload the streams after. It's easier to just stream there at the same time. But yeah, you can check the stream out on YouTube if you're interested, and if you want to watch the stream in, like, landscape rather than portrait, you can check it out over there. In fact, speaking of which, let me actually check the YouTube chat and see if anyone has commented today. No, we haven't had a single comment on the YouTube stream, but we have had 52 views, which is interesting. Do you make YouTube videos, says Daniel? No. Same as with the streams, I do upload all of my videos from TikTok to YouTube, so they're all there on YouTube as well. But I don't make any videos especially for TikTok, like exclusively for YouTube, sorry. Okay, I think we're ready. What time do you start? 3 o'clock, Jack. My streams always start at 3 PM UK time. At the minute, obviously, it's BST. But yeah, they're always from 3 PM till 6 PM. Just subscribed. Thank you, Weeman Plays. I think we've got about 140 subscribers on YouTube at the minute, which is great. But obviously, TikTok is where I'm more popular. We're getting closer and closer to 7,000, so please do, you know, if you have enjoyed and you haven't already followed, please do share the stream, you know, get your friends in. It would be great if we could get to 10k by the end of the year, but we'll see what happens. It's amazing, keep it up, do love uploading videos on there. Thank you, Weeman Plays. What mod is that to make you stay straight line? It's not actually a mod, Charlie. If you are on FS25, this is in the base game. You don't need a mod for this. You use the same controls that you would use to set up your AI worker. But yeah, no mods. This is all vanilla. Best part of FS25, says James, it is a pretty great feature. I know it has already been in 22 as a mod, but not crossplay, unfortunately. Whereas now, even if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, you can use this as well, which is great. I'm on 2022, says Charlie. I'm sorry to hear that, Charlie. If you're on PC, you can get GPS steering as a mod. But if you're on console, I would recommend upgrading to FS25. I do think it's worth it. You on PC, says Jack? Yes, indeed I am, Jack. Loved your setup video, looking good. Thanks, Weeman Plays. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with my setup, all in all. I know the computer, specifically, is a bit on the expensive side. But it is pre-built. You're always going to pay a bit more than building it yourself. And especially when it's customized as well, you're going to pay more than if you just buy a bog standard one. So I know the PC's a bit expensive, but I think I make up for it in the savings that I've made elsewhere, because pretty much everything else I've got is quite cheap, actually. There's nothing particularly expensive apart from the PC. Playing Fairhead right now on 22. Nice one, Evan. I do like Fairhead. Good map. PC is always good. I'm on PS5, but my brothers all play PC. PC gaming is the best if you love mods. I definitely agree, Weeman Plays. I have nothing against consoles. I grew up with consoles. I only got my first laptop when I was in university, so I'm a big fan of consoles. But I do think the biggest downside of consoles is that you don't get mods. Or and if you do get mods, they're nowhere near as much as what you get on PC. Like, take a game like Farming Sim, for example. There are mods on console, but you can't have unlicensed brands. You can't have mods that affect the scripts of the game, so you can't have stuff like guidance steering and that sort of thing. So even though you can have mods on console, they're very restricted compared to what you can get on PC, right? So I do think if you are if you like playing with mods, PC is just the better option, hands down. If you're not that interested in mods, if you just want to play the game itself as is, then there's nothing wrong with a console. Like I say, no problem with consoles. There's a deer there, by the way. Hey, deer. But yeah, for me, PC is the way to go. Uni, tell me more, says Weeman. So I went to uni between 2017 and 2020. I have a bachelor's in game design. Specifically, the course is called Creative Computing brackets Gaming. So it's sort of like a general computer science course, but with a specialization in game design. And I am an aspiring game developer. It has long been my ambition to publish my own indie game. I've got a few projects that I'm working on, but nothing really that's like in a ready to release condition. But yeah, like I say, I do have a degree in game design. I'd love to work in the game design industry and even publish my own game. Were you trans in uni, says Daniel? I wasn't, Daniel, no. I came out after university. If you want to know my coming out story, I do recommend checking out the pinned video at the top of my profile. It's the very first video when you go to my profile. And in it, I talk about how I came out, how I sort of realised I was trans, and the sort of journey that I went on to come to that realisation. It's a video that I'm very proud of. I do recommend checking it out if you're interested in knowing more. But no, I didn't come out until after university. I had no idea that I was trans until after university. I knew a few trans people at uni. I think uni was probably the first time in my life that I actually met trans people. But it never clicked in my head that my experiences were quite similar to theirs, and I never really put two and two together and was like, hang on a minute, that's me. I'm that. So yeah, it wasn't a realization until I had much later. But I do think getting to know trans people in person did help, and was an important step on the journey. You think I'm in your lives a lot, says Daniel. I think you are, Daniel, yeah. I think you've been in pretty much every stream in the last month or so, right? So you are, I think it's safe to say you are a regular viewer. I noticed we haven't actually been putting any solid fertilizer down either. It says on the left-hand side, crop does not require additional fertilizer. So I think maybe the soybeans are supposed to have low nitrogen. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, the nitrogen's perfect, so these crops aren't supposed to have very much nitrogen, which is why we haven't actually put any solid fertilizer down. Good to know. It's looking like we might overrun slightly today because it is 10 to 6. Well, it's nearly 5 to 6. And we do still have a couple of little jobs to do, so this stream might go on 10-15 minutes longer than usual. But we're all having fun, so... Well, I am, anyway. Ash Virginia says, what does AMA mean, says Owen. AMA is short for Ask Me Anything, Owen. I am here to be an open book, you know, I always say it's not just about the games, you know. The whole point of me streaming is so that you can speak to me as well and ask me questions and learn more about me and find out what makes me tick, so... Yeah, I'm not just here to play Farming Sim. I'm here to answer questions as well. So if there's anything you want to ask me, Within reason. Ask away. What are you, says Leo. I'm a trans woman, Leo. How long have you been doing video for? Says Weeman Plays. Only about a year, Weeman Plays. So, I have been on TikTok for about 5 years now. But the earliest videos that I posted were literally just... I'd put the camera down in front of the piano and just play a tune and then just upload it. That was it. I didn't really start editing my videos until a year ago. That's when I started to do the more quote-unquote professional videos. And I do think my videos are quite professional, especially the documentary videos. If you've got 20 minutes to spare, do consider checking out my Peak District documentaries. There's 2 of them at the minute, and I'm currently working on a 3rd one. They're 20 minutes each, but basically I go to the Peak District, I take a nice long walk, and then I share some facts, some history, and, you know, stuff like that about the area. Those videos, I put so much time and effort into them, and I'm really proud of them. So please do give them some love if you've got time. But yeah, I'd say looking at the videos that I've made recently compared to the ones that I was making a year ago, you really can see how much I've improved. Like, I'm so much better at it than I was a year ago. Have you ever rode a dirt bike? Says Newtful. No, I haven't. I've rode a push bike and a unicycle. I own a unicycle, which I'm still learning to ride. Never been too good at editing videos, says Weeman. It's definitely something that takes a lot of practice, absolutely. Do you not think Farming Sim takes up too much time? Ooh, excuse me. Well, I only play it for 3 hours a week, so I don't really play it that much outside of streaming, so... No, I don't really think it takes up too much time. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, OVR Croberts. Okay, that's done. Is that a missed bit down there? Yes, there is a small missed bit here. How often do you stream, says Classy Snob? I stream 3 times a week, Classy Snob. Currently, my streaming days are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. On Monday, I play Minecraft. On Tuesday, it's Euro Truck Simulator. And Friday, of course, is Farming Simulator. How long have you been playing? Today, I've been playing for just under 3 hours. Do you play Flight Sim, says Weeman Plays? I don't, Weeman Plays. I've never been into planes. I've just never really been a plane person. I like trucks, trains, and tractors. Those are my big 3, which is why I'm such a big fan of Truck Sim, Train Sim, and Farming Sim. But planes have just never really interested me. I'm not a plane person. So I just don't really have any interest in Flight Sim. Have you played Goat Simulator, says Tia. I have played Goat Simulator, yes, indeed. Some great memories. What a game. Thanks for following. Lily likes being Calitha. Or Caltha? No, it is Calitha, I think. You need a mod, says Daniel. Honestly, Daniel, the chat's not been that bad today. Not compared to last week and the week before. Honestly, this has been the quietest Farming Sim stream I've done in a while, which I am grateful for. As much as it is nice to get lots of views and, you know, have hundreds of people watching and get tons of new followers, it is also nice to just have a nice quiet stream that's just more of a casual chat sort of stream, you know. And today's has been a lot quieter than usual, especially for Farming Sim. I have a joke, says Bobby. Go on, Bobby. Can it top Tom's joke from earlier? We'll see. Are those things real? Genuine question, says Jack. They're not, Jack, no. One day, but not today. That is foam padding. Would you ever do real farming, says Howard? I don't think so, Howard. It is definitely something that I considered doing at one point in my life. I've said it before, but when I finished my A-levels, I was actually on the fence about whether I wanted to go to university or agricultural college. So I could have been a farmer, but instead I ended up being a game developer. So my career could have gone two very different directions, and it just happened that I went in the game development direction instead. But yeah, I was very close to doing farming. You're a game developer, says Ewan. Aspiring, yes. I don't have any published games yet, but I do. Obviously, I have a degree in game design, and I have been working on a few projects. Like I say, none of which are like publicly available to download just yet, but one day, I'm hoping they will be. Annie says, "Why are you wearing a crop top?" This is not a crop top. This completely covers my... You can't call something a crop top if it covers your belly button, right? That's a crop top. That's just a top. If it doesn't... If it covers your belly button, it's not a crop top. I should know, I have plenty of crop tops, but this is not one of them. Bobby says, what did the farmer say to Luke Skywalker? I am your farmer. That's a good one, Bobby. I like that one. I like that one. Annie says, do you get periods? Nope, because I'm biologically male. Are you using mods, says Lee Fixes Cars? Yes, I am using a few mods, mostly official mods from Giant Software, but a couple of third-party ones as well. Do you like rock or heavy metal, says Snob? Not particularly. I don't listen to much music, to be honest. I don't have like a specific music taste. I'm the sort of person who likes individual songs. So I could like, for example, there could be a band where I just like one of their songs and I hate everything else they've ever written, but just that one song I really love. And I'm like that for pretty much my entire taste in music is that. I just like individual songs rather than bands. With a few exceptions. There are a few bands that I am like more into. But yeah, I don't really have a specific taste, I wouldn't say. Someone asked a very good question. I think it's... Oh, Pickle. Pickle says... Why did you pick the name Saul? This is a very good question, Pickle, and I would like to talk about it briefly. So the reason I picked the name Saul is actually... I didn't pick the name Saul. Saul is the name that I was given when I was born. So my parents picked the name Saul. My dad specifically picked the name Saul, and he picked the name Saul because he is a huge fan of Guns N' Roses. So I am actually named after the lead guitarist of Guns N' Roses, Saul Hudson, aka Slash. Yes, that Slash, one of the greatest guitarists who ever lived. I'm named after that guy, which I think is pretty fucking cool. Which is why I decided when I came out, you know what? I'm not going to change my name. I love that name. I'm keeping it. And that's why I'm still called Saul, even to this day. That's so cool. Saul's such a cool name. Thanks, Tia. I do think it's a really cool name. Better Call Saul, says Robert. Hang on, Robert. Hang on. There's my Better Call Saul coaster that my brother got me. Especially so that I could show it on stream whenever someone comments Better Call Saul. So there is a little rock in you. There is, yes. There is a bit of rock in me in that sense. The question is, though, can you play guitar, says Tiki Toki. I can't, Tiki Toki, unfortunately. I do play the piano, and if you look back on my TikTok, you'll see I've got quite a lot of piano videos there that I've posted over the years. Guitar, not so much. I've tried to learn guitar a few times, but never really gotten anywhere with it. I'm happy enough sticking with piano, though. I love the piano. It's such a versatile instrument, you know, you can play literally any genre on the piano, pretty much any piece of music ever. You can adapt it to piano. It's a great instrument, and I just really enjoy it. So I am a pianist, first and foremost. I do have a ukulele, which I also can't play at the moment, but I'm learning that as well, off and on. And I did used to play violin back in secondary school, but I didn't take it any further. I did pass my grade 1 exam with a really good grade. One of the highest grades in my town, which was quite an achievement. But then I gave it up and I never played violin again. So maybe I could have been a violin prodigy. We'll never know, because I gave it up. Oh, whoops. Have you ever driven a real tractor, says Tom H. I have, as it happens, Tom H. As a kid, I drove a real tractor a couple of times when I used to work on the farm with my granddad. Never on the roads, but in the fields and stuff like that. My granddad was kind enough to let me take it for a spin on a couple of occasions, so I wouldn't say I've got tons of experience driving tractors, but I have done it a couple of times. I can't sing but love karaoke, says Weeman Plays. I love a good bit of karaoke as well, Weeman Plays. I don't have the greatest singing voice in the world. I don't have the greatest speaking voice in the world. But I love a bit of karaoke. Oh shit, can we get the trailer through here? This trailer's really long, and this passage is really narrow. See if we can squeeze through. Okay, that wasn't too difficult, actually. Okay, to the shop. We should probably have the tines pointing down, though. For safety, we don't want to impale anyone. There we go. Whoa, and we're going backwards. Whoa. Never mind impaling, we're probably going to flatten someone. Did it hurt when it get chopped, says Fredster? Wouldn't know. Hasn't been. And it's not likely to be. Thanks for following, by the way, Dan and Aaron. I know that was a while ago, but I didn't actually read your names out, but thank you very much. So, we are over. We're 10 minutes over today. I am just going to head to the shop and pick up these last few pallets and then bring them back to the farm, and then that is going to be the end of the stream. So I think we're probably going to finish about 20 past. So refreshing having a streamer talking to the chat, says Weeman Plays. Honestly, I really don't see the point of streaming if you're not going to talk to the chat, you know. For me, that's the whole point of streaming. Like, because otherwise I could just record myself playing Farming Sim and post it as a video, right? Like, for me, the whole point of streaming is that you can interact with the audience. You can talk to people, you can answer questions, you know. That's what I love about it. See you again soon, so take care. See you later, Tia. Hope you have a fantastic evening. Thanks for being so welcoming. Looking forward to the next one. Thanks, wee man. Like I say, next stream's going to be Minecraft on Monday, so do come along for that. Lasagna for dinner, says Scotty Dog. I don't think we've got... Oh, I don't think we got stuff for lasagna, Scotty Dog. I think we've got stuff for bolognese. We've got lasagna sheets, but we don't have white sauce. And I'm not making white sauce from scratch. TERFs are feminists, says Louis Jones. I disagree. I'd like to see evidence of that. Because there's very little at the moment. I mean, I literally just posted a video about this the other day. One of the most prominent TERFs in this country just voted to keep abortion criminalised, so personally I don't think that's a very feminist take. There's a reason it ain't on a real farm. Yes, there is a reason I ain't on a real farm. Because I don't work on a real farm. Oh, here they all come. It only took until 5 minutes before the end of the stream. But it looks like the cavalry's finally arrived. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Yes, I am a trans woman. Go ahead, call me mentally ill or confused, or call me a bloke, tell me you can see my mustache or my Adam's apple. Get it out of your system now. Go ahead. I'm amazed it took you 3 hours to find the live stream, but the point is you're here now. There we go. Okay, just strap these down. Not there. There. Not there. There. You are just beautiful, I can't get over you. Thank you, Brandon. That's such a nice thing to say. Thank you very much. You said you stream until 6, says UGT. Yes, we have overrun slightly. I'm just popping this back to the farm, and then we are going to be wrapping things up. But we have run over today. How much was the setup? The full setup, every single thing, £2,000. That includes the wheel, the gear shifter, handbrake, headphones, microphone, webcam, monitors, computer, chair, desk, absolutely everything. £2,000 for the whole damn thing. If you want to know how much specific bits and pieces cost, do check out the second video on my profile. It'll tell you everything you need to know. It talks about where I got everything from, how much it all cost. So if you want to know more about that sort of stuff, do go and check out that video. But yeah, the whole setup, £2,000 in total. Thanks for following the Farm Sim Kid and Tim Pulls. I have those headphones, says Dan. They're good headphones, Dan. Very good headphones. And cheap. These were only 20 quid, so... name of the wheel. This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. You are stunning, says Rafe Too Toxic. Thank you, Rafe. Why 6? Why not later? That's just when I end my streams. I feel like 3 hours is the perfect length for a live stream. I have tried doing 2 hours, which feels a bit too short. I've tried doing 4 hours, which feels a bit too long. I think 3 hours is the perfect length for a gaming live stream. So that's what I always aim for. I always start at 3 and I always aim to finish for 6. Sometimes I do overrun, but again, I try to avoid doing that as much as possible. How much you bench, bro, says Tom Fraser. I don't know, Tom, because I don't bench. But, I mean, look at my arms. Probably, like, 2 packets of crisps. Okay, I think... Yeah, we can pick this one up. Oh, for fuck's sake, we knocked it over. How long have you been trans for, says Kevin. I've been out for 4 years, Kevin. Okay, I need to flip this over so that it's the right way up again. Okay, here we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. Pronouns, she, her. Thanks for asking, Max Tech. Okay, now, can we actually pick it up this time, please? No. Why not? Is it clipped into the ground? It is. It's clipped into the ground. Well, how am I supposed to pick it up, then? What the fuck is this? I can't pick that up. Okay, if I put my tines right down on the ground, we might be able to get under it. Come on. Okay, we got it. Try not to lose it. It's a bit wonky, says Draydog. Yeah, I don't think this is actually ours. I think this is just a prop that was on the map, to be honest. Because it's got no markings on it. And it doesn't... I'm not sure, though, because it does have the fertilizer icon on it. No, 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 no. No, go back up. Go back up. Thank you. Yeah, look, it does have the fertilizer icon on it. But I don't know. But it doesn't say... Yeah, I don't think... I think I may have just picked up a decorative object that doesn't actually contain any liquid fertilizer at all. And I also feel like I'm not going to be able to get it back off the trailer now because it clips through the bottom. Okay, let's try and gently get it off. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to just tip it back over. And then I'm just going to push it back into the corner where I picked it up from. And it can stay there. Because it's clearly not supposed to be moved. It's not supposed to be picked up. It's purely a decorative object. The problem is it's in the way. It's in the way of the barn. I might, off camera, I might just pick it up and go and dump it in a river somewhere. It can stay there for now. I'm done with it for now. There is one more pallet that needs picking up, though, so I'm going to just go and grab that. It's the seed pallet over here. Which also looks like it may have clipped into the ground. Slight problem. Oh. I hate pallet forks. I just hate using the vehicle arm controls in this game, generally speaking, because I can never get the hang of them. Where are you from, says Alfie? I am from Doncaster in South Yorkshire. Not Tranland, as Jamie delicately puts it. Also, what is Tran? What is... oh, we could put this on top, actually. Put this on top of the other pallet. No, on top. Right, stay there. Stay... Or stay there. Do whatever you fucking want. It's on there. It's on there. We're 20 minutes over the end of the stream. I'm just... That'll do. That'll do. Let's move on. What do you identify as, says Gilesy? I'm a trans woman, Gilesy, so I was born and raised as a boy, but I came out as a woman about 4 years ago. Okay, I'm going to leave this here, I think. If I don't get stuck. Oh, but we can't reverse this because of the... Okay, never mind. So we're going to leave it here. Is this worth buying, as I have 24? 24 is mobile only, right? So definitely, if you have a console or PC, 25 is the way to go. Okay. And we're done. We've done everything we needed to do today. We've done some planting, some fertilizing, we've fed some sheep, we've sold some wheat, and we've organized some pallets. But that really is going to have to be the end of the stream. We're going to be ending almost half an hour late at this point. So I'll just park up and then we'll switch over to the big cam for the wrap-up. How old are you, says Hodge? I'm 26, Hodge. Okay, there we go. Keys on the hook. And we're done. Actually, I want the keys the other way around. There we go. So you can see the Farming Sim badge. Okay. That is the end of the Farming Sim portion of the stream. I am going to do a very brief wrap-up today because we are already over time. So don't go away if you want to see that. But if you're just here for the farming, that is now done. Okay, let's get the big camera on. There we go. Okay. Oh, and then pop the chat back in. Make sure the YouTube camera is resized as well. Okay, so that's everything for today. Thank you for joining. We have overrun by quite a bit, but I've had a great time. I would say this might actually have been the most fun I've had in a farming sim stream for a while, because it's been a much more relaxed stream than usual. We haven't had too many negative comments or spam or trolls or anything like that. It's been generally quite nice and peaceful. Some great conversation, some great chat with everyone. I've had a wonderful time. Maybe that's why I overran by so much, because I was just enjoying it so much. But it has been a great stream. I am going to have to end, though. We are quite badly over time. So next stream is going to be Minecraft on Monday, then Euro Truck on Tuesday. I have a video coming next week. I went to the Peak District yesterday. I recorded over an hour of footage of Ladybower Reservoir in Bamford, and I will be doing a documentary style video on that, similar to the first two that I've done. So if you're interested in checking those out, please do, and there will be another one coming very shortly. If you have enjoyed the stream but you haven't already followed, then please do. And if you'd like to support me on any of the platforms you see on the icons below me there, links are in my bio. I'm on YouTube, where I'm also live right now. Hello everyone watching over on YouTube. I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky. I don't post there very often, but you can check them out if you're interested. I am on Discord if you want to keep up to date with when I post and stream and just chat with me outside of live streams, then Discord is the place to do that. And if you would like to support me financially, then please consider checking out my Patreon. Shout out to Kate, Sophie, Jess, Daniel, and Danny for supporting me over there. It only costs £1 for an entire month. You get your name on the board, you get a shout out on stream, you also get behind the scenes content, early access videos, uncut footage, outtakes, making of videos, etc, etc. So for £1 a month, can't go far wrong really. And yeah, if you want your name on there, join my Patreon. Thanks guys for supporting me over there. That is going to be it for today. I am going to go and make myself some tea. I don't know what I'm going to have yet, but I'm going to go make myself something to eat. And I'll see you on Monday for Minecraft. That's everything. So bye-bye everyone. I'll see you around. I've had a wonderful time. That's it. I was trying to think of a third thing to say, but there wasn't. That is it. That's all there is to say. I'm going to go right now. Goodbye. And thank you everyone over on YouTube as well. I know we haven't had much in the way of chat today. Weeman Plays has left a comment. I don't think he's here right now, but thank you anyway, Weeman Chat. But we have had a few views. We've had 61 viewers, all of which are very much appreciated. I've had a fantastic time. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. I'll see you on Monday for Minecraft. That's it. Bye-bye, everybody.